This broadcast is owned by the Great American Conference and produced by the Great American Conference Network.
Welcome to David Allen Memorial Ballpark in Enid, Oklahoma for game number 7 of the Great American Conference Baseball Championship Tournament. This matchup today features the regular season champions Arkansas-Monticello against 5th seed Oklahoma Baptist, as the Bison just got through playing against Arkansas Tech in a game that they had to resume at noon earlier today after it was postponed last night due to the lightning and the weather that set in overnight here in Enid. It was an 8-5 final against Arkansas Tech. Meanwhile, Monticello yesterday, a wild game, 9-8. The victory in walk-off fashion against Southwestern Oklahoma State. And Monticello is going to send the GAC Pitcher of the Year to the mound, Matt Lund. Michael Westbrook along with Joey McWilliams and Haley Tucker. Thank you for being with us today. We've got one more to come after this one as well. It will be Harding and Arkansas Tech in what will be an elimination game, game 8 of the tournament. But first, Joey, game 7 here, Arkansas-Monticello with a little bit more rest than Oklahoma Baptist. Bison stay in their dugout from the previous game. Monticello takes over where Tech was, and we're about ready to get this one going.
No doubt, and that could play a part in this game. I don't think there's any question that that is a bit of a factor. And who's to say which side of the field that is going to benefit the most? As we saw in the post-game conversation with Haley Tucker a little bit earlier, Jake Gozo said, we're ready. We're already warmed up. We're good to go. Monticello could be taking the opposite approach and saying we're rested. We're ready to go a little bit more than you guys are. But I want to say this, Michael, what kind of luxury is it for Monticello to say, hey, we have the pitcher of the year. He's 7-0. He started 10 games, won 7 of them, lost none, and we don't have to start him till day 3.
Absolutely. Right-handed pitcher, a junior from Phoenix, Arizona. Monticello warming up right now. Oklahoma Baptist will be the visiting team in this one and hit first. Monticello will be the home team. We said there's been a lot of green here in this tournament. See some of it right there. And Oklahoma Baptist will stay in those black uniform tops for this one, and we're just about ready to get going. The Oklahoma Baptist lineup looks like this. Playing second base and leading things off is Garrett McKee. Designated hitter P.J. Harris will bat second. Right fielder Jake Gozo hits third. Ramon Enriquez will catch and be in the cleanup spot. Batting fifth is first baseman Eric Carlson. Hitting sixth is the third baseman Kamani Bartolome. And this game with Lund on the mound is underway. A first pitch in for strike one to Garrett McKee. 7, 8, 9 the batting order is left fielder Brock Carter, shortstop Brett Bloomfield, and the center fielder Joey Pledger. They have Caleb Bly on the mound. We'll tell you about him when he takes his turn. Outside for a ball, 1-1. Numbers for Lund this year, as Joey told you, 7-0, 3.19 ERA in 10 appearances. All of those were starts. 1-1 chopped foul. Has one complete game. He pitched 59 and a third innings this year, giving up 51 hits, 29 runs. 21 of those were earned. He walked 28 and struck out 76. Gave up 7 home runs. Opponents had a .235 batting average against him. 1-2 delivery from Lund. Misses outside. And the catcher for UAM tried to frame that one up the best he could, Andrew Perino, but did not get the call. Two delivery, foul back. Left to right in the outfield for UAM, John Molden, Grant Shepard, and David Reyna. Jordan Johnson at third base, and the shortstop is Dylan Borman. Hard hit ball, left field. It's going a long way and tracked down just in front of the warning track. John Molden for UAM makes the catch. A loud out to get this one started.
Well, it was. If that was a wooden bat, you'd say that was cracked. It sounded that way for sure, and with the wind carrying a bit, wind shifted gears, wind coming in from the south now, and it's not blowing out to left as much. It kind of varies a bit, but that time it held the ball up just long enough then for Malden to get under it and make the grab.
The rest of that defense, Thompson is at second, Warden over at first. Told you Pereno behind the plate. They're going to put the shift on here a bit for P.J. Harris, designated hitter. Have one infielder on the left side. That's the third baseman, basically playing the shortstop position. First pitch, foul back. .367 average for Harris. Double-digit home run total with 10, 14 doubles, 42 runs batted in. 1 down the middle, a strike, 0-2.
There's no doubt what they expect from Harris. I've seen these shifts, though, not really work out as well as what you might think.
Harris will take inside that time, 1-2.
A lot of this really depends on the pitch that he gets as well.
Pretty good breeze in from right field. One-two delivery to Harris. He'll take down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. .77 degrees at game time, and we're looking at a high of about 80 degrees today, but it's thick air out there. It's a little bit humid here in Enid today. 2-2 delivery to Harris. Deep drive center field. Going back on it, center fielder is going to be there to make the catch. Brought in by Shepard for the second out. A big outfield here at David Allen Memorial Ballpark. 390 to straightaway center. 300 down the right field line, 328 down the left field line. 363 in left center and 369 in right center. Here's Jake Gozo. A couple of hits in the last game in the win over Arkansas Tech. High fly ball on the first pitch. He's not afraid to swing right away. And it's going to be the second baseman who went over to make the catch. Or was that the shortstop? I wasn't even sure.
It was tough to tell. I thought it was the shortstop.
Thompson. Yep, Thompson makes the grab there. And after a half inning of play, nothing there for Oklahoma Baptist. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. We'll see UAM come to bat for the first time in just a moment here on the GAC Sports Network. Welcome to Enid, everybody. Caleb Bly will be on the mound for Oklahoma Baptist, and now their second game here today. 6.54 ERA for Bly, 2 wins and 4 losses in 18 appearances. And 2 saves, 31 2/3 innings pitched this year, has given up 23 hits, 26 runs, 23 earned. He has walked 33, struck out 28. Opponents are hitting .209 against him. Again, it's Caleb Bly for Oklahoma Baptist, wearing the number 16, taking the mound for the Bison in this one. Bly is a sophomore from Midlothian, Texas. No score after a half inning of play, and the lineup for Monticello: Thompson, Molden, Johnson, then Warden, Reyna, Pereno, Foreman, Ellisor, and Shepard.
Well, they definitely seem to have a little bit more time right now to get some of these warm-ups intact or in place for Oklahoma Baptist, and I'm sure that's not standard. It just seems to be the way it is here in what is game number 2 for Oklahoma Baptist on the day. You know, they played just 6 innings in that previous game, the first 3 having been played the night before. But it seems like a full game.
Yeah,
it felt like a full game.
Today's action took 2 hours and 7 minutes after an hour and 5 minutes last night. So, yeah, it took a little while to develop. Thompson up first, Cade Thompson. Thompson will take up high.
I think one of the things you look at when these two teams met during the regular season, of course, Monticello coming away with 3 wins. They swept Oklahoma Baptist. And every batter in the lineup, everyone in the starting lineup, had at least 2 hits during the series. And they found a way to get to the OBU pitching.
When you score 19 runs in one game, I would imagine you're going to have a lot of guys get some hits. Really impressive what they did there. Thompson pokes it to third base, and a throw to first a little bit wild, but his foot stayed on the bag as it goes Bartolome to Carlson for the out, 1 up and 1 down.
Well, you know, Michael, and we go to Malden coming up, and he was the one who had the big outing in the first game in that series. Had 4 home runs in one game, a game in which the Boll Weevils hit 10 as a team, but he had 4. But you look at some of these numbers, too. Not only did every player on the team have at least 2 hits in this 3-game series, you have 3 players that had at least 1,000 slugging percentage. Andrew Pereno had 1,000 slugging percentage, hit 600. David Reyna had a 1.364 slugging percentage, hitting 455. And that gentleman right there, John Malden, hit 571, 6 runs scored, had 4 home runs, and a 1.429 slugging percentage for the series.
So I imagine that week it was basically Offensive Player of the Week, everybody from Arkansas-Monticello, nobody else.
You just showed the team picture of the Boll Weevils.
Yeah. Imagine they would have a few nominees there.
Well, it was Malden who received it, just in case you wanted to know, and rightfully so.
Yeah, 350 batting average for Malden this season. That one swung on and missed. 33-12, the record for Arkansas-Monticello. 5-2 on neutral site facilities. 24-6 in the Great American Conference. Oklahoma Baptist 31-19, 2-3 on a neutral site. 20-13 in the Great American Conference. 1-2 to Malden, and that one just misses inside. Bly wanted the call, did not get it.
And the crowd behind him wanted to get the call as well. You're right, though, it is a little bit tougher to tell here. Usually you can distinguish some of the fan bases, but Arkansas Tech in the green, as well as Monticello in the green, and OBU in the green as well. It's tough to distinguish the two, although you hear the cheers there after the strikeout. You know that's a Bison fan.
3 of the 4 teams remaining. Their primary colors green. There's our color commentary talk for the day.
That's right.
Strikeout there, 2 down, bases empty. And Jordan Johnson, the third baseman, will stand in for the first time today.
Michael Green is a secondary color. Except in light. And then it's primary.
Okay.
That's enough about that. Let's move on.
Does this count? Are we in the light? Is it their primary color? 1-0 from Caleb Bly. Saw him a little bit last year as a freshman. Appreciate the hard work of Doug Self, Christina Doris up here in the press box helping us out, making sure we know what we're doing. Is this year number 4 for Doug Self as the official statistician? Replacing Scott Good. Seen a lot of baseball here in Enid over the years.
That much is certain.
1-1. Rocketed to right, playable. Going back on it is Gozo. A couple of steps in front of the track. He's there to make the catch. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on. We have played one complete here from David Allen Memorial Ballpark. No score. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network. Top of the second inning, no score between Oklahoma Baptist and Arkansas-Monticello. Michael Westbrook along with Joey McWilliams and Haley Tucker. We welcome you into our broadcast here, Haley. And I know earlier you were over by Oklahoma Baptist and you saw a lot of excitement as they won earlier today. And well, they've had they got a veteran coach and Coach Bobby Cox leading the way.
Yeah, Michael, you know, sit back and relax real quick. I'm going to tell you some impressive stats for the OBU Bisons. Head coach Bobby Cox has won 1,374 games in 35 seasons for an average of 39 wins a season. In addition to that, Cox has never had a losing season, coaching 30 All-Americans and 22 Major League draftees. Also, in addition to Cox, Jake Gozo has 31 home runs in his career and 19 this season, which is the third most in a season at OBU and #1 in the D2 area. Lastly, OBU has 79 home runs as a team this season, and that leads Division II. So pretty impressive stats from the OBU Bison, don't you think, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Haley. And, of course, Gozo hit a home run in the last game. And with the way the wind's blowing right now, you can see it there a little bit, that he might be able to hit another one out of here before it's all said and done with today, Joey.
I'll tell you what, for Gozo, you talk about if you're in the top 3 in any kind of offensive category in Oklahoma Baptist history, yeah, you are up there. So that's an impressive number and tops in the Division II era as well.
Ramon Enriquez is up first, then Carlson and Bartolome here in the second with Matt Lund back on the mound for the Weevils. Ball and 2 strikes. That one misses the plate, 2-2.
Well, it's definitely a storied program, and the history is there, what Coach Cox again has done.
2-2 pitch will miss low, 3-2.
You know, sometimes you mention the name Bobby Cox.
Right.
What's the first thing that comes to mind? Well, it has to be baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about Bobby Cox. Now, folks who may be more Major League fans may be thinking Atlanta Braves.
That's right.
That coach Bobby Cox was there for a long, long time as well. This coach Bobby Cox has him beat in one particular program. My goodness, the success between the two of them, though, just off the charts.
That'd be a lot of wins, wouldn't it?
It's a lot of wins combined.
Remember a couple of years ago, Oklahoma Baptist had a Juan Gonzalez on their team, too, so they just make it a habit of finding Major League names. Payoff pitch to our first batter here in the second. Enriquez will draw the walk. Oh, yeah, okay. He stopped for a minute. He was taking the shin guard off. Thought he was about to come back for some reason. He's on base with a walk. Normally guys wait till they get down to the bag to do that, so, you know. That'll bring up Eric Carlson. You know, you get those bats going for 3 or 4 days, a situation like this, long tournament. You got to do more than just have 1 or 2 good games where you're scoring runs. You got to make sure you keep swinging, keep hitting. Pitching needs to come along as well, but we're only in the second inning. I don't know what to say if this is going to be a pitcher's duel or if we're going to have a 10-8 game or something. You never know between these two teams.
I would be surprised if it was a pitcher's duel. The offense is there specifically with the OBU side, and I would think that as Carlson's hit safely in 11 of 13, his last 13 games. And that includes the penultimate series of the season this year as they took on East Central, had a 4-for-4 outing with 7 RBI against the Tigers. You know, we talk about some of these other names that are on here and folks that are really, really getting a lot of hits, driving in a lot of runs. Gozo specifically, Enriquez as well. Carlson's put up the numbers. He has 50 RBI on the year to go with 53 hits.
Big numbers out of the 5 spot. And that's going to get past the catcher. Down to second with a big turn. stay put at second base will Enriquez. Runner in scoring position now for Oklahoma Baptist in their half of the second inning.
Yeah, Enriquez, I think, may look as though he may want to try the arm of Pereno. I don't think that that's actually the case. Slows up there after that big turn and heads back to second.
And you talk about all those big numbers. We're talking about guys that have started a lot of games this year, all the way through the heart of that middle lineup. Deep drive to left, still going back, bounces up off the wall. Enriquez had to hold for a bit, and that ended up being pretty close at third. Enriquez just got there barely ahead of the throw. What a throw from the left fielder, Molden.
Well, he rightfully so. He delayed just a little bit to see if the catch was going to be made. However, he did not seem to be in a hurry to make it to third.
So Enriquez at third, Carlson over at second. Nobody out here in the inning. Could be a big inning for the Bison. Bartolome at the plate. Finish that. I was just going to say that having started a lot of games, you get a lot of at-bats. Gozo had his 200th at-bat earlier for the season, so numbers really piling up in every category for Oklahoma Baptist. The power numbers are there. 0-1 to Bartolome. Take outside, 1-1.
I think a big part of that and why his numbers are so high there is the fact that he really wants to connect with the ball. You mentioned it as he got up there to begin with. I mean, he can be a first pitch swinger. When that happens, you know, you're going to find him having more of these bats register. He's batting third. How does he have more at bats than McKee or Harris? They've been up there to the plate just as many times. It just doesn't count as an official at bat. If you get the walk there, you reach base by way of an error, something along those lines. Gozo, he's going to get the at bats. He's going to swing the bat, whether it's a hit, whether it's a strikeout, and he does lead the GAC in that with 57 of those. I mean, he's going to be up there and making his presence known.
Bartolome strikes out looking, and that is the first out of the second inning now. Bring Brock Carter to the plate.
Left fielder number 8, Brock Carter.
Oklahoma Baptist 31-19, Monticello 33-12. We have had only 2 teams win a GAC baseball tournament. Attempting at a bunt there. It's going to be a foul ball.
Came back up off of him, and you know he's frustrated that because it looked like he was going to lay that down well. I don't know if it advances the runner there or not. I don't think it was going to have gone that far, but a little bit of frustration there, just didn't execute that time.
Arkansas-Monticello all-time in GAC tournament history, 16-6, but much of that coming during the 2016 and 2017 seasons. They have not been as fortunate here in Enid. In fact, missing the tournament a couple of years in the early years of John Harvey. Now in his 9th season as head coach.
My, what a turnaround it's been in Monticello since Coach Harvey arrived on the scene.
Absolutely. 410 wins now all time, including his stint at Henderson State. But at UAM, 256 wins. 0-1 hits him. No way for Carter to get out of the way. The bases are loaded for Oklahoma Baptist with only 1 out.
Well, if you're going to reach base that way, Carter does that with some kind of frequency. That is his 18th hit by pitch this season.
Goodness. More than twice as many as the next player on the team. P.J. Harris has been hit 8 times. Brett Bloomfield at the plate. He'll take a strike. .225 average for Bloomfield. He does have 19 runs batted in. He's going to bunt down the first base side. Who's going to field it? First baseman will. No play. A run is in. Oklahoma Baptist is on the board first as Enriquez scores. It's an RBI single bunt for Oklahoma Baptist as we see it again here.
Well, wasn't able to be done on the play before. Executed perfectly there, and that really was a good decision not to go ahead and make that toss as Thompson hangs on to it, and wisely so.
Now Joey Pledger. Bottom of the lineup doing their part early on here. Down low for ball one. A lot of excitement from the Oklahoma Baptist dugout right now. They lead 1-0, bases still loaded.
The dugout, the fan base is right beneath where we are sitting right here, or some vocal parts of the fan base.
1-0 to Pledger, out of play, 1-1. 258 average. Playing in his 49th game for Oklahoma Baptist this year, 49th start. 34 runs batted in, 9 doubles, 3 triples, and 5 home runs. Got the bases full. Bison looking for a big second inning. 1 run already in, 1-1. Ground ball is picked up by the shortstop. Shovels to second for 1, over to first for the double play. Borman to Thompson for 1, on to Warden for the 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. A run on 2 hits for Oklahoma Baptist, and they take a 1-0 lead. See it again as we go to the break on the GAC Sports Network. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0. Oklahoma Baptist strikes first in their half of the second to take the lead, but it could have been more. An inning-ending double play gets UAM out of it, and now they will come to bat with Caleb Warden coming up first.
There's the 320.
How about that? The Union Pacific rolling through. Seems to be kind of a slow roll this time.
Yeah, it's been taking its time since we've been here this year. Not cruising through in a hurry.
Beautiful David Allen Memorial Ballpark. See the youngsters playing out in right field.
Well, actually, Michael, I believe that is part of the Enid High School.
Yeah, I don't think they're playing. I think they're working out.
It's part of the Enid High School. One of the athletic departments having them out and doing some off-season running here.
Now that doesn't look like a lot of fun.
No.
I like where I'm at.
Well, listen, we talked about the 1 run that the Bison scored in the second inning. Could have been more. Fortunate, I think, to get the 1 run, though. But you have to have something come out of it, and the Bison did at least put the run on the board in that situation. And you mentioned it also during the inning, getting some production from the bottom part of the lineup. They come right back in the 3rd inning, and we're seeing the top of the order now. In the meantime, the heart of the order for Monticello.
Caleb Warden, Reyna, Pereno. 1-0 count. On the corner for a strike, 1-1. Now we're talking about this beautiful ballpark. You've heard the stories over the years, but the chairback seats were imported from the old Baltimore Orioles Stadium. Baltimore Colts also played there as well back in the day.
It's just a great looking facility right here in downtown Enid. I mean, this obviously a big part of where commerce had come through a few years back, as it's right by the tracks.
2-1 ground ball, Bloomfield short, over to first to Carlson for the out. 6-3 if you're scoring at home, with 1 down here in the bottom of the second. And that will bring David Reyna to the plate. Dangerous hitter. Only played in 33 games, now his 34th, but he's hitting .411, 51 hits and 124 at bats. Of course, our good buddy Jay Holbright could give you all the other stories about how the brick in the outfield And that was laid down by the prisoners in the area, in fact. We got plenty of time to get to more stories here at the ballpark.
Reyna, a transfer from Lamar, Division I Lamar. He's hit safely in 19 of his last 20 games, including a 16-game hitting streak that he had. And that was broken up during that season finale series against Southern Arkansas. Still managed to do pretty well, 4 for 13 overall on the weekend.
12 doubles, a triple, and 7 home runs for the season for Reyna. Certainly been a big key to this Monticello team out of that 5 spot in the lineup. He'll take a strike there.
You know, in that 16-game hitting streak that he had multiple hits in 12 of them.
Now the 2-1 popped up on the infield. McKee calls everybody off, makes the catch. Second out in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 our score. Oklahoma Baptist with the lead. And this will bring up Andrew Pereno.
Catcher number 20, Andrew Pereno.
368 average for the senior. 13 doubles, no triples, 3 home runs. The winner of this one advances to Game 10 of the tournament. And that is important because it would put one of these teams at 3-0, needing only 1 win to claim the 2019 title. Game 10, by the way, will be our second game tomorrow. 0-1 foul back, our adjusted schedule due to the weather delays that postponed a game last night.
Weather looks fine right now. It is a little bit warmer here than it has been this weekend. It's not warmer than it has been when we've been here before. That 80 degrees looks really nice out there because we have seen a few days in Enid in early May in which that thermometer out there showed 102 degrees, 103 degrees. Very, very pleasant day, but Enid it's a great facility here. I know we've mentioned that. It does bear repeating.
Yeah, Haley, you got lucky. You didn't have to be here in those days when it was 100 and whatever out there. Not too bad right now. 0-2, fouled out of play. The wind blowing from right to left here. The train's moving too slow to be a cause of the wind, but we've seen it pick up quite a bit. 0-2 here with 2 outs, and the base is empty. The pitch, hard hit ball on a line. Shortstop Bloomfield grabs it for the 3rd out. And after 2 complete innings, Oklahoma Baptist 1, Arkansas-Monticello 0. Back for the 3rd here in a moment on the GAC Sports Network. Told you about the facility across the way there here in Enid. Much more than a basketball facility, but last night held a concert. And you know, you don't always get the full perspective here. You just see David Allen Memorial Ballpark, but when you come in from the main road there, 412, and you turn down South Grand, it's downtown area. It's got some skyscrapers and everything around us here.
It really is. It's with all those things coming in as well to the area, and it just seems to get bigger and better all the time. Corporate offices here as well, but things for the community and for those to come into Western Oklahoma and really have an opportunity to have some exciting things.
Well, it is the top of the lineup for Oklahoma Baptist. Garrett McKee, P.J. Harris, and Jake Gozo. This could be a big inning for both sides. Second time through the lineup now for the GAC Pitcher of the Year, Matt Lund. First pitch swinging center field. It's deep to center, 390 to the wall, and this one's going to tail off to the left side and be picked up by Shepard for the 1st out. Coach John Harvey named the GAC Coach of the Year. And Cade Thompson was named the Freshman of the Year. Big year for the Weevils.
No doubt. You get
Second
that
consecutive year in a row is a big year for them.
Yeah, get those individual honors like that. Well, it's gone beyond that. You know, it's really quite a year even before that. I mean, this is, I'd say, 3 solid seasons for the Weevils. Go back as Southern Arkansas, and we've had 3 different champions here in the GAC baseball tournament in the last 3 seasons. Southern Arkansas, then Monticello before that back in Arkadelphia. Of course, Henderson State the year before that in Arkadelphia. And, I mean, this has been I don't know if you say a golden era for Monticello, but really a time, I think that in a few years they'll look back and say, hey, this is when things really, really started going well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we talked about they didn't have just a whole lot of success in the early years here in Enid, but once the tournament got to Clydeberry Field in Arkadelphia, they performed a little bit better.
I want to check that. Monticello won them both.
Yeah.
Henderson State had quite the run the year before that.
We've had just the 2 champions with SAU.
That much is certain. Henderson State stuck with me as much. I wasn't looking at the notes then, trying to play it off the top of my head.
Troy Mitchell would be happy.
Yeah.
Got that in.
Got the Henderson State in. They stuck with me a little bit more that season, I guess, than what Monticello did.
2-2, and that is up high for a ball, 3-2. One of those years we had some bad weather. I think we had to play on Mother's Day, I think it was.
We did. That was 2 years ago.
Pretty nice little setup, though, because we did get in the situation where you had another field across the street if you needed to get a game in at Ouachita. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the pitch fouled back. P.J. Harris, 370 average. And his second time at the plate. He's 0 for 1 so far. Flew out to center field the first time. Payoff pitch again. Hard hit ball back through the middle, a base hit. It wasn't as close to Lund as maybe he thought it was. He had some room there, but he definitely tried to get out of the way and throw the glove up into fence. Hard hit single for P.J. Harris. Easy for me to say, right? Way up here.
Yes.
Sure, it felt pretty close to him. And here is Jake Gozo. Big power numbers, 327. Haley talked to him after the game a moment ago and asked him about his home run swing from the previous contest. He said he was just looking for something up high to hit.
Well, we know he's not afraid to swing the bat.
19 home runs, 14 doubles, 2 triples. We've seen him swing early and often, not this time. 1-1 the count.
With that 6'6" frame and expansive strike zone.
Check swing, went around there, and it's 1-2. That one fooled him. 78 miles per hour off speed delivery from Matt Lund. Sats taking their time. Here's the pitch to Gozo. That will miss the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He struck out looking in the previous contest today and didn't like that 3rd strike. I have to think there are probably a few strikes he doesn't like again because with that kind of frame, it's just a little bit more space to work with.
Now 2-2, and this one will go through on the left side. Base hit for Gozo makes it 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Patient piece of hitting that time from Gozo. He waited on the first 2 pitches, decided not to swing at him.
At the plate for the Bison.
Got one that he could take to left field, and now Oklahoma Baptist has something going here. Ramon Enriquez. I gave you the extremely hard trivia question in the last game about Enriquez. Nobody could have got that, I don't think. 5-sport athlete, one of those sports being water polo. You mentioned earlier that he's from California. I got to go to California during spring break and visit Santa Barbara. Apparently water polo is a huge deal out there. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Would people out there know that rowing is kind of a big deal in Oklahoma in some parts? I was thinking of that. Probably not. Oh, 1, foul back. But he was also a wrestler, and that is a big deal here in Oklahoma.
Yes. Some quality wrestling programs here. And honestly, quality rowing programs as well. Just to, since you dropped that, Central Oklahoma's women's rowing program is #1 in the country and has been, won the national championship last year.
This is why I throw out those things. After 10 years or so, you have something to provide that is just amazing. That amazes me that you know that. Time called. Are there stats in that sport? I mean, just wins and losses, I guess. But
I'm not familiar with the stats.
I
don't know that
either.
much.
I don't know either.
There are positions along the boat.
Okay. 0-2, missed down. Good stop there.
You talked about Goza and him being patient in that most recent at bat. We're seeing this as well from Enriquez too, and really trying to make Lund work.
Developing into a long half inning here. 2 on, 1 out, and the pitch fouled out. Walked the first time around for Enriquez. That was in the second inning. A run on 4 hits so far for Oklahoma Baptist. All zeros across the scoreboard on the UAM line. .331 average for Enriquez. 11 home runs, 15 doubles, and 2 triples. 61 runs batted in this year. And time called once again.
Wow, the pitchers, starting pitchers today, Bly didn't factor in to the series. Lund did come away with a win in game 1 of the series, but you'd think most pitchers would be able to come away with a win in that game right there. If you have 19 runs for run support, it doesn't take the pitcher of the year to get the victory there.
Called strike 3 for the second out. Enriquez goes down looking. Yeah, I would think Eric Moyer could have won that game if he was out there pitching. Get 19 runs of support.
No.
Assistant Commissioner, Statistician Extraordinaire, Eric Moyer. That's who I'm referring to. And that'll bring up Eric Carlson.
Nice
Skip
segue.
away, runner's gonna go. Throw is not in time.
And Harris just stayed on that base. We've seen this here at David Allen, and we've actually seen it already this weekend. The momentum and the turf can carry you a little bit farther than you thought you might want to go. You had to hang on to that base.
Wild pitch there puts runners at the corners.
Well, we've mentioned then the offensive firepower of this Bison team. Sometimes you just have to manufacture those runs, and that's what we're seeing here. Getting players on base, taking a little bit extra.
1-0 to Carlson, puts a charge into this one to left, but it is playable. Caught by Molden to end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on. We're going to the bottom of the third. Oklahoma Baptist leads 1-0 here on the GAC Sports Network. 1-0, bottom of the third inning. Arkansas-Monticello coming to bat here. Dylan Borman will be up first, and Brooks Ellisor and Grant Shepard. First time we've seen these three at the plate. 7, 8, 9 in the batting order. Good shot of the stadium, press box area. Should have waved to everybody there. Missed my chance. Caleb Bly back to work on the mound. 2 solid innings so far. First pitch, fastball for a strike. Important to stay ahead of these hitters. Get ahead of Arkansas-Monticello, get them off their game just a bit perhaps. They are a powerful team. 3rd best batting average in the league. 3rd best slugging percentage and on-base percentage. And it is Bly ahead in the count, 0-2.
Borman 1 for 4 on Saturday with 3 RBI. 2 for 4 yesterday with 2 RBI. Having a pretty good outing here in Enid. From Alberta, Canada.
0-2, misses high, 1-2 the count. Monticello had that 4-0 win over Harding, the first game of the tournament. Now the 1-2 delivery. Pokes that one foul. Second game of the tournament was Oklahoma Baptist 8-2 over SAU. I don't know if too many people were necessarily shocked by that. SAU was the 2 seed last year. They lost their opening round game. Came back all the way through the losers bracket to win the tournament championship. Oklahoma Baptist, probably the best 5th seed we've ever seen in this tournament, I would think. The 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball to left, but it is going to be playable. Carter, a couple of steps, he's there, and Brock Carter makes the catch for the first out.
That Brock thing is easy to mess up a little bit, isn't it?
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, it was a decent at bat that time for Norton. He's been able to play well here over the course of, again, this weekend. Reaching for it a couple times, and I think he just wanted to make contact that time, clear it, go on, and just try to finish through solid.
So here with 1 out, there's a strike to Brooks Ellisor. Ellisor, the sophomore. Brody Threet, at the plate for UAM. Didn't feel like that was right. Popped up on the infield. Arlson at first, there to make the catch for the second out. 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Not much happening for the Weevils so far.
No, it's that bottom part of the lineup, though, pretty effective yesterday. And Threet also 2 for 4 yesterday, just like Dorman was. And Shepard came in midway through the contest, stayed at center field throughout the remainder of it, made his presence known, and here he is starting this game.
Sophomore hitting 193 this season. He'll take that one for a strike.
He's played in 28 games of the 46 now for Monticello. Started 22 of them.
Try to get a little 2-out rally going. Top of the lineup waiting on deck, and Thompson. A 1 delivery. That's a strike as well, and it's 0-2. Bly takes a long look in. And seems ready to go now to Shepard. At 0-2, we'll fire a fastball called strike 3. Shepard goes down looking. It's a very quick 1-2-3 inning, and we have played 3. 1-0. Oklahoma Baptist with the lead on Monticello here on the GAC Sports Network. One nothing. Oklahoma Baptist leads Arkansas-Monticello. Here's Joey McWilliams to take you through the middle innings.
Kaimana Bartolome to bat now for Oklahoma Baptist, and for the Bison it's going to be Bartolome, Carter, and Bloomfield to start this 4th inning. Again, Bison now the 1-0 lead. Quick 3rd inning for both teams. Bartolome 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Struck out looking back in the 2nd inning. Getting some conversation in with the home plate ump. Wonder if you find out exactly what makes up this strike zone. A hard, solid cut there that hit the OG&E sign out past left field and took out one of those golf carts over there. Now, just right about there, that cart there on the far left of your screen is, and you can see there that sign has taken a little bit of damage over the years as well.
That's what I was noticing.
Bartolome watches that one high, and looked like the Weevil dugout thought he might should have been caught looking a 2nd consecutive at bat. Meanwhile, the count is full with no one out here in the top of the 4th. Swings at that one high, and it looks like it's not playable. It is not.
We were wondering at the start of this one, would we have a high-scoring game? Would we have a pitcher's duel? We're starting to get some of those questions answered. It's been a good one so far here.
Well, if you say pitcher's duel, I'm still not convinced. I think they're going to make it through this lineup. Both of these teams are going to make it through a 2nd time and start making some connections here. Just a feeling. Bartolome answers that with a liner to left. Gets things going here in the top of the 4th now for the Bison. Brock Carter coming to bat.
It's a good piece of hitting past the shortstop. I've said all along, especially last night, Oklahoma Baptist really making solid contact, swinging the bat well, hitting the ball hard.
Carter batting .296. He reached base as he was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning for a league-leading 18th time this year. Shows bunt there. Carter not afraid to stand in. This time looking to see if he can advance a runner. Shows bunt on the first pitch, takes it high for a ball. Showing again. Reaches back and instead may not ground into the double play. That one mishandled only slightly there by Dylan Borman. Does get the lead runner there. The toss over to Cade Thompson, and one down here in the top of the 4th.
You know, a situation there, could have laid down the bunt, put a runner in scoring position. Don't know how many scoring opportunities you're going to get in a game like this, although Joey thinks a few more are going to be coming along, and you're probably right. So you go ahead and swing the bat there, and goes down as a fielder's choice, but well, and could have been a double play pretty easily.
You know, Michael, and you're exactly right. It could have been a double play. Whether or not I feel this way, the bats are going to start connecting a little bit more. I know it's all up to the coach. I mean, these decisions as to what the strategy is. Do you want to manufacture it? Do you want to play that small ball? As Bloomfield now batting for Oklahoma Baptist, singled, had an RBI single, accounting for the 1 run that is on the board right now. Back in the 2nd inning. That one he takes inside. 1-1. Single already in this inning as Bartolome got that put out as the lead runner in the previous at bat. That one a little high as well. Matt Lund, pretty solid day so far. Of course, 7 wins on the season. Transfer in from Phoenix Community College in Phoenix, Arizona. And Lund, this is his 11th appearance of the season. He pitched in 10 games, was the pitcher of record in 7, winning those 7 of the last 8 in which he appeared. The first 2, a loss and a win. Matter of fact, the only game of the season in which Lund appeared, well, he didn't, in which he appeared, he wasn't the pitcher of record. There was a loss, was against Harding, as it's going to send Bloomfield to first base. 4 balls. Back on February 17th, Lundfield pitched, and in 6 2/3 innings, did not take the loss. Harding did beat Monticello back then, and every other time that Lund has been on the mound this year, the Boll Weevils have come away with a victory. Right now, though, runners on first and second, and Joey Pledger now batting for the Bison.
Big part of the reason he was a unanimous first-team selection. And then, of course, the pitcher of the year. I tell you what, Bloomfield, he's doing his part right now. A single, as you said, RBI single earlier, and now a walk to keep this inning going. And that's just one more opportunity to get it back to the top of the lineup. Fletcher would like to erase his last at-bat where he got into that double play. And situation here where he's got to get the ball up off the ground so that doesn't happen again.
Ended the inning there with runners on for Oklahoma Baptist. Bison so far through 3 complete have left 4 runners on base. Monticello, meanwhile, has 0s across the scoreboard. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base either, you might imagine. Monticello coming away with a victory yesterday, a 9-8 win over Southwestern, a game in which the Weevils committed 6 errors. And that one hits solidly to left field. It is back, it is deep, and it is gone. 3 runs will cross the plate for Oklahoma Baptist, and the lead expands to 4-0 off the bat of Joey Pledger. A 3-run home run for Pledger, his 6th of the season.
Is that a way to erase any memory of an ending double play from earlier in the game? I would say so.
I think so.
Bottom of the lineup is getting it done so far, and they're 2 at-bats here in this contest.
Brings us to the top of the order. All the excitement again happening with the bottom of the order. And watch this. Gets a piece of that, finds that just a little high there right in the sweet spot, and gone. Those 2 light poles in left field really this weekend they've acted more like uprights.
That was a field goal then.
That was good. And you know what? 3 points were scored.
That was a field goal.
Runs in this case.
Yeah, there's some of them have been extra points, but
yeah, this one a 3-run shot for Pledger. McKee 0 for 2 on the day, and after the first ball crosses the plate from Lund, a little conversation going on now on the mound, and there will be activity in the Boll Weevil bullpen.
Several players jump out of the dugout to make their way down that long walk down the left field line. Coach Harvey out for the mound visit. I know we talk about all these coaches, but got to mention what a great guy Coach Harvey is. We've had a lot of opportunity to talk to him in hotels or out by a bus or who knows where over the years.
He is a great person to visit with, and we mentioned yesterday, you know, Coach of the Year again, one of only two-time GAC Coaches of the Year. And it cannot be understated as this one is hit solidly to just about the same place and with the same result. Back-to-back shots for Oklahoma Baptist. Garrett McKee puts his name on the board with a home run.
Well, this team's on replay from last night. Almost. They went back to back to back yesterday. Or was that the first day? And now I'm getting confused on my days.
It's Monticello.
Monticello, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, now they're having it happen to them.
Yeah.
Get the greens confused, I guess, again. Yeah. My goodness.
Another long shot for Oklahoma Baptist to left field. The wind not exactly blowing directly out to left, but it hasn't hurt. And so P.J. Harris, who has a strong bat as well, hitting .371 on the season. And with one out here in the top of the fourth inning, Harris is batting. He has 10 home runs this year. For McKee, by the way, that was number 9.
You can't just jump out there either as a coach. 2 mound visits in an inning, you got to automatically pull the pitcher. So you got to let him go a little bit longer here and let your bullpen warm up.
Harris takes this one the other direction, and it is on the line.
Wow.
Looked like it was on the line.
Sure did.
Wow.
Not inside the line maybe, but foul ball.
Very, very likely we're looking at a double right there as we see this one land.
Oh, my
That was
goodness.
close.
Yeah.
Close call. Official had a good look down the line, and so it's 2-1 now. 1 strike for Harrison. I'm talking about the power here. Michael, I don't know that you pull Lund immediately. He's given up, made a couple of mistakes here, obviously 4 runs on the board because of it. And you know what? Yep. I could be completely wrong with that statement, so I'll take it. He may be done for the day. The GAC Pitcher of the Year, who has a record of 7-0, has given up 4 runs here in the top of the 4th, and there is help on the way. And we'll talk about that new pitcher in just a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
Johnny Chacon takes over on the mound, the junior from Harlingen, Texas, Joey.
And that one is foul. I think it stayed within the bounds of the ballpark just barely. I don't know. That may have been gone behind that shed. But, Michael, I mean, you got help on the way. Take us through the new pitcher.
3.09 ERA, 4 wins and no losses in 17 appearances this season. He has started 1 game, 5 saves, 46 2/3 innings pitched, has given up 40 hits, 20 runs, 16 of them earned. He's walked 22 and struck out 40, has given up 3 home runs this year, and opponents have a .231 batting average. Again, it's the junior left-hander from Harlingen, Texas, Johnny Chacon.
Facing P.J. Harris now, 2-2 count, and Harris just a little bit behind each of these last 2 pitches. Chacon bringing some heat in there. Harris not afraid to swing the bat.
Rare situation where he comes in facing a batter with a count already on him, entered at 2-1. But you know, try to save Lund for every pitch you can at this point. You might need him again.
That one just outside. Well, I think you said it during the break too. When you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
And at this point, it looked like Lund was done. Coach Harvey felt that way for sure. And the 3-2, a liner into center field, and Harris with a single.
Probably pretty obvious, but you got to be feeling really good if you're Oklahoma Baptist here. You've just chased the GAC Pitcher of the Year in the 4th inning. You have a 5-run lead. Finish this one off somehow, then you're going into that situation tomorrow where you just need 1 win to win it all, and everything's really going the right way right now for Oklahoma Baptist.
And of course, Jake Gozo come to the plate. single back in the third, swings the first pitch, and that is not playable.
Kind of figured we would see that. Remember, he took 2 pitches in a row to start his last at-bat, which was a rarity. And here against a new pitcher, hits pretty well against left-handers and try his luck right away.
No doubt. And boy, I just can't see that bat staying on his shoulder very long here. 1 for 2 on the day. You see sometimes when the batter walks to the plate, you just see it in their eyes. 0-2 the count, though. Chacon has him behind. Gozo lines that to center field, a little higher than Harris's, and Harris will slow up there at second. The result, though, again, the same. We've seen this twice now. First 2 batters here in the inning, able to get home run, not the first 2. After the first out, then 2 batters back-to-back home runs. Next 2 batters back-to-back singles. 1 down here as Harris is at second base, Gozo at first. And that brings up the cleanup batter, Ramon Enriquez.
4 runs on 5 hits already here in this inning.
Enriquez 0 for 1 on the afternoon, walked back in the second inning, struck out looking as he watched that one across, though. Struck out looking back in the third inning. That one goes across for a ball.
Just wonder with Monticello, do you just let Chacon go and eat up as many innings as you can, or do you take the approach of everybody gets an inning or so? Right now he's going to see if he can keep it somewhat close.
Bat solidly there to third, to first, and no double play. So the lead runner is gone. Harris out. Gozo goes over to third, and Enriquez reaches on an error, and he'll make it all the way to second.
Yeah, able to get 1 out of the deal. We'll look at it again here as plays it on a hop. Easy play to touch third, but then that's a long throw all the way across. And just didn't have the scoop there. You know, you were talking about the errors for Monticello the other day, 6 of them, and these teams a lot of times just whether it's an error or not, whatever causes it to occur, they're not used to playing on turf throughout most of the year either. So there's a lot of factors that go into that.
First pitch swinging there is Carlson, puts that into left field. 1 run will score. Second runner coming, easily tagged out at the plate. The inning is done. Carlson gets, however, another hit, gets an RBI. And well, let's add this up quickly for Oklahoma Baptist. It is 5 runs that have been scored on 6 hits. They leave 1 on base. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Oklahoma Baptist on top in this one, 6-0. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network. Back in Enid, as the sun is showing itself a little bit more. Temperature rising just a bit. And the Oklahoma Baptist Bison run total growing at a quick pace. 5 runs there in the inning. Solid hits. Able to get runners on and then move runners across.
Big inning. Put a 5 spot on the board, Joey. That's going to set the tone for a while here. And it could have been more. Could have potentially held up the runner there at third, and another base hit would have brought him in. But you go and send the runner there. You got a big lead. You're trying to put the pressure on Monticello even more so. Credit Monticello for making the play there, throwing the runner out at home by a wide margin, in fact. But that was a big, big inning for Oklahoma Baptist.
Monticello swept the Bison during the regular season in a 3-game series. Now up for Monticello. It's the top of the order. It's Thompson, Malden, and Johnson. Thompson ground out to third in his first at bat back in the first inning, hitting .379 on the year. And the second baseman swings hard at that one. 0-2 now the count. Now the 3-run home run from Joey Pledger really got things going. 2 home runs in the inning. A bit reminiscent of an early inning for Monticello yesterday, and 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Thompson takes a seat now. As we throw it to the third member of our crew, Haley Tucker.
Yeah, Joey. The Boll Weevils of Monticello are the #1 seed in the Great American Conference Tournament under the leadership of head coach John Harvey. He's in his 9th season with a record of 254 and 177. He's coached 2 All-Americans, 6 All-Region selections, and 29 All-GAC selections. But what I want to mention that in his first season at Monticello, he had took on a struggling program that had lost 143 games and had only won 35 in the previous 4 seasons. And now Harvey is coaching the #1 seed in the Great American Conference Tournament. Back to you guys.
It's a very good point, Haley, and thanks for that research, because you know, you look back and sometimes I think those numbers may not be readily available. You don't see it like that, but you know there's been a change, and I think that dramatically portrays the change that has taken place at Monticello since Coach Harvey arrived.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think it's fitting that you have these 2 teams in kind of the winner's bracket side of things, because, as we said earlier, Coach Harvey and his teams have missed out on tournament play in Enid on 2 occasions. And now they have a little bit of unfinished business out here in Eden, and so does Oklahoma Baptist, a team that, as you said, was swept this year in the regular season by UAM. They lost 2 of 3 to Southern Arkansas, a team that everybody knows has a pedigree of success, and Coach Harvey's starting to build the same thing and has built the same thing with the Weevils over the years. Had a 40-win season back in 2016 where they went 40-16.
I think the only team that can't say they have unfinished business in Enid is Southern Arkansas. Every other team that's been out here's had unfinished business because they've come up against the Mule Riders. It's not going to be the case this year, as the Mule Riders took the early exit, 2 losses and on the way back to Magnolia. But what is big here, both these teams can definitely say that. Monticello has had its struggles against Southern Arkansas in Championship Tuesdays before. Struggled making it there to the championship as Malden goes down swinging, and that's the 2nd consecutive strikeout now for Monticello, bringing Johnson to the plate. Jordan Johnson coming up, and obviously we've talked about what happened with Oklahoma Baptist against Southern Arkansas last year as well. That's some real unfinished business, recent history, just cruising through the winner's bracket and then coming up with 2 losses on Tuesday.
Yeah, you know, I don't remember all of the facts from last year, but I know we sat here thinking, is Oklahoma Baptist going to get in a regional? They should. They're an incredibly talented team. Eventually, it turned out that they did. We're sitting here saying the same thing again this year, Joey. I mean, you know, they're not even in the top 10 in the last regional rankings, and it's a little difficult to believe that. Southern Arkansas sitting at 8, Pittsburgh State and Emporia 9 and 10. Those 2 teams are going to play each other in the MIAA. The top 4 seed teams advance after the first opening weekend of tournament play, and they're going to play each other. And so, you know, if Oklahoma Baptist is going to get in, they're going to have to win this thing and likely bump Southern Arkansas and then bump Pittsburgh State or Emporia from where they're at, unless one of those can go on and win the MIAA outright. But that kind of seems a little unlikely.
Caleb Bly is doing his part for the Bison on the mound right now. 2 consecutive strikeouts and is ahead in this count 1-2 as Jordan Johnson is at the plate. And that one goes a little bit beyond Enriquez. So Johnson again batting .309. Had a fly out to right field in his first at bat back in the first inning. A long top half of the 4th inning for Oklahoma Baptist as the Bison put 5 runs on the board and on a 6-run advantage right now. Ring him up. 3 up, 3 down. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Bly, and the sophomore taking care of business. We have 4 complete here in Enid. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network. Bartolome swings on the first pitch and sends it to center field, where it is promptly corralled by Greg Shepard. 1 down here for the Baptist in the top of the 5th inning. It's Carter and Bloomfield to follow.
Now batting for OBU, left fielder number 8.
Brock Carter batting .294. 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Hit into his fielder's choice back in the 4th inning and was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. Looked hard at that one. And watched it go by as a strike. 0-1 now the count. Well, Johnny Chacon on the mound for Monticello. And that one fouled back. 0-2. Bringing some heat here for the Monticello Weevils, as the GAC Pitcher of the Year, Lund, has already given way to Chacon as a reliever here. Carter won't reach at that. Still trying to get in reach, won't bite.
Just finish up those thoughts for you, Joey, on the Central region. Central Missouri, the #1 team, Augustana 2, St. Cloud State 3, Minnesota State 4, Monticello 5, Missouri Southern is 6th, Central Oklahoma 7, Southern Arkansas 8. And for the first time, the baseball regional is going to look the same way the softball regional does. The two sub-regionals will so it'll be 8 teams that advance out of the region with 2 sub-regions, and then the winners of those will play a best 2 out of 3 super regional. So basically it's kind of like the way the MIAA tournament works and the way the Great American Conference did for a couple of years. It'll be an interesting new setup.
Brock Carter watches that one paint the corner, and he'll take a seat now as he strikes out. That brings up Bloomfield now. Brett Bloomfield. And Bloomfield watches one go by for a ball. It's a different feel in the postseason. I like that. I like the 2 sub-regionals, and then the best of 3 as Bloomfield fouls that one back.
Well, as we know, you get a 6 or 8 team tournament over 4 days, and then weather hits, it turns into 5 days or who knows what. And goodness, you end up getting championship games sometimes with pitchers that maybe haven't pitched very many innings all year long.
Swing and a miss, a hard cut at that one for Bloomfield, and wow.
Yeah, and on top of that, Joey, the GAC, of course, playing a week ahead of everybody else, so you've got even more time to rest before going into that regional.
1-2 now the count, 2 down, and that one taken maybe just a bit high. After that 4th inning, where it seemed like everyone in a black jersey that came to bat was connecting, Chacon has settled in here and has really found his rhythm. 2s across the board.
He has, and all of the runs but one went to Lund. So 3 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned.
Connection there to right field. Will it stay fair? It does. Bloomfield turns the corner. Holds up at second. So the 2 down here. Brett Bloomfield gets to second base and puts on a little show there, to the delight of the Bison dugout.
A little hip shake, I think, there. Yeah, he's had a good day so far. 2 hits now.
Two hits, has an RBI as well, and that brings us to the bottom of the order. Someone has 3 RBI on the day. A 3-run home run in his previous at bat, Joey Pledger, 1 for 2. Has someone on base with which to work now. Carter and Enriquez, the only Bison yet with a hit in this one. They're yet without a hit. I say that, it's just about the midpoint of this game. 11 hits on the board for the Bison. The 1-1. And Pledger watches that one go by high. 2-1 the count. Well, runner looked like he was going as Bloomfield took a few steps and slowed up. That one fouled back anyway.
He sure did. I thought he was going to go. Don't really ever want to make that third out at third. He might have just been trying to get a head start so that he might be able to score on a base hit.
2 down now here in the top of the 5th. And here's the 2-2. That one inside. Took a little off that one. And lost it just a bit there to Pledger's feet. So the count now full. Pledger takes that one for a ball and takes his base. So with 2 down here and no one on, both Bloomfield and Pledger reach base. Bloomfield with a double. Pledger walks, takes us back to the top of the order. We see Garrett McKee.
The hit for Bloomfield, you're thinking, oh, well, you know, maybe it's not that big of a deal. 2 outs, just take care of the next batter. But what it does there, 6 more pitches to Pledger. You've got a guy out there on the mound you're hoping can eat up some innings for you. Now all of a sudden a threat again at the top of the lineup.
McKee swings at the first pitch. That's fair. And 1 run will come across for sure. Into the corner. Throw back to second. McKee slides in. He is safe. And the Bison get a 2-out rally. Put another run on the board.
Just so dangerous. It doesn't matter who's in the lineup, who's at bat. You get 2 outs, and all of a sudden the next 3 reach another run in.
Brings up P.J. Harris after the double from McKee. And Harris with runners now in scoring position.
And how about McKee now? Home run and a double.
Harris with a pair of hits as well. He's 2 for 3 on the afternoon, hitting .375 now for the year. Doesn't do as well, though, with 2 outs on the board. It's just .282 with 2 outs.
Five players in the lineup with 2 hits already.
That one fouled back. 1-1 now the count. That's a big day. Carter again and Enriquez the only ones, and Enriquez at that cleanup spot. Sure, he wants to be part of the action as well. The check swing, and he did go around. And he knew it too.
Yep.
He just held off on that one a little bit too long, waited for it to come in and decided a little bit too late he wanted to take a shot at it. Count now 1-2 with 2 down here. Top of the 5th inning. Bison threatening again. And that one low. You know, the batter's working these at bats of late, but you have to credit Chacon too. He's not really giving them anything to work with. A couple of strikes, going outside. He really wants to try to make these batters work and see if he can paint the corner here and there. Timeout, so we'll reset here.
Harris didn't like something. He was the one calling time.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on, finds a gap. 1 will score. Here comes the next runner. McKee coming in safely. 2 RBI for P.J. Harris on his 3rd hit of the day. All 3 singles. And 2 more on the board now for Oklahoma Baptist. A 2-out rally that extends.
Amazing. I like the move there. A lot better to send McKee. It was a hard hit ball, but it was skipping along the turf. What you're looking for there is, you know, the left fielder has to field it cleanly and make a good throw. And in that situation, you play the odds, and it worked out for Oklahoma Baptist. Now up 9-0, another big inning.
Jake Gozo has 2 singles as well in his last 2 at-bats and has a runner on now. batting .332. Goso swings hard, straightaway center. And Greg Shepard comes in to make the catch. But again, damage has been done. Oklahoma Baptist puts 4 runs on the board on 3 hits. They leave 1 on base. And they lead now by 9. We're midway through this contest. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network. And the Bison really making this into their place to be. The winner's bracket, it's been owned by Oklahoma Baptist in the last couple of years, and trying to extend that as they want to push into Tuesday with no losses in the tournament column.
And they've scored 25 runs now, 2.5 games, after 8 in each of their first 2 contests.
For Monticello, it's Warden, Reyna, and Pereno, 4, 5, and 6 batters. Each one of them 0 for 1 on the day. Warden ground out to short in the 2nd inning. Here we are in the bottom of 5. And Oklahoma Baptist on top by 9, and a hard cut at that one from Warden. Comes up empty.
Bly has had his opportunity to get rested up the last couple of innings. Long innings. He's been sitting on the bench. That's not always good for a pitcher, but he'll take it up 9-0.
Warden watches that come through for a strike. Bly probably as impressive in the 4th inning as he has been all day. 1, 2, and 3. Sat them down in order, and those were the top 3 batters in the lineup as well. So, been a solid day. Watches the 3rd strike. 2nd consecutive batter to sit down looking.
6th total now for Bly.
Now stepping to the plate for UAM.
And Joey, there is activity in the Monticello bullpen. Probably a good spot here. 8 runs in the last 2 innings for OBU, and so about midway through this game, you realize Chacombe probably not going to go a whole lot longer. Start to get some guys ready just in case they're needed in the next inning.
You know, Bly's pitch count not really that high either, as that's a solid hit to left field. Gets past the extended arm of Oklahoma Baptist Bartolome. Swings on the first pitch, and Reyna reaches base for the first hit of the afternoon for the Boll Weevils.
Great start for Bly. That'll end that no-hitter bid here about halfway through, but that was a good piece of hitting right there.
Now batting for UAM, Andrew Pereno.
Andrew Pereno now batting. 0 for 1. Lined out to the short. One of those catches a while ago for Brett Bloomfield. Just had to step over a little bit, and looked like you're just getting some catch going. Just warm up those arms a little bit. That was one of those tosses straight to him. And Pereno watches that one for a ball. 1-1 now. 85 miles an hour from Bly. Caleb Bly, a sophomore from Midlothian, Texas. That one comes through a little high. You know, there is something to pitching. It's more obviously than just, you know, throwing the ball. There's a lot that goes into it. I would think someone that's a physics major like Bly would have the upper hand on something like that, understand a little bit more of what really goes into what he's doing.
Yeah, and he struggled a little bit this year. He already over 6, but
Pereno hits that one high. It is deep and at the warning track, and stepping up to make the grab is Brock Carter. And so that is going to go ahead and keep Reyna at first base.
At the plate for UAM.
Now
Shortstop
Dylan
number
Borman
35,
coming to bat.
Borman.
Borman 0 for 1 on the day.
Maybe he had that physics final right before coming to the tournament that got him in line, because he has really pitched well, and he's going to lower that ERA at this point. Already dropped it by 1 full run per game.
Some of these folks have already graduated. Some of the seniors already had their ceremonies. The first weekend in May was a big weekend for graduations throughout the state of Oklahoma and Arkansas as well. Borman hitting .263, had to fly out to left field back in the third.
One graduation in particular that you're probably pretty proud of.
No doubt.
Joey's daughter graduated, Oklahoma Christian.
Oklahoma City.
Oh, excuse me, yeah, Oklahoma City. Yeah,
It's all right, just down the road. It's all right, it's just down the road.
Not too far, yeah. Yeah.
They're both OC, OCU. Yeah, Jenna Page McWilliams. Got her Bachelor's of Music, I believe, in musical theater. Bachelor of Fine Arts in musical theater. I want to get this right.
Yeah, I already messed it up.
Arts
so.
in musical theater, and Oklahoma City, a quality university for that particular major. So we're excited, happy for her. She'll be performing in Florida in just a couple of weeks. By the way, I'll drop this one since she's just finished up her college days. She's also a 2-time All-American.
There you go.
In competitive pom dance. Bat on that one, and Borman sends that one into right field. And with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th, Monticello trying to match what OBU did with a 2-out rally. Thank you, Michael Westbrook, for providing me the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Talk about Jim.
Well, it was a big rally for Oklahoma Baptist, as you said, with 2 outs to get their 3 runs. A swing of the bat here could make it 3 for UAM as well.
Well, Borman, with his first hit of the afternoon, again, he's had a pretty good weekend as well. That brings up Threet now. Threet 0 for 1 on the day. Ground out to first base in his previous at bat. Threet hit 182 against Oklahoma Baptist in that 3-game series, but had a slugging percentage of .727. That's what happens when the hits that you have are home runs.
Yeah.
He was 2 for 11 in that series. Both of his hits were home runs against the Bison. Also had 4 RBI as well.
Well, we started this one at 2:50. Coming up close on 2 hours in a game where one team only has 2 hits. It's carried on a bit.
Some very patient at bats.
Enough time for the train to come back through again. Well, yeah, the 440 is a little bit ahead of schedule today.
Bly is looking this one through. Has 2 out. And has Threet with a 2-1 count. 3-1 count now. There it is.
Yep. Tell you what, a hit here. I know it's a 9-0 game, but you're already hearing some commotion from Monticello's dugout. A hit here could really turn the game back in the Weevils' favor, even though they still have a long ways to go.
You have to make it up in some way, and it's taken to the 5th inning really to honestly to get any hits at all. And now 2, and that is strike number 2.
Of course, no hitter coming into this inning. It's only the 2nd time through for these batters to see Bly, so they're just now maybe kind of getting a feel for him.
I'm not sure if the train is louder this year or just don't recall it right.
Maybe we're amped up in our ears here.
Full count, 2 down. And that one comes through low. Freak takes his base with the walk, and that loads the bases now.
He takes it with authority, Joey.
Yes.
You saw that bat flip.
Yes.
And then the guard slammed it down. Going to first base.
Well, you have to get your team fired up in some way, and if this is the way, whatever it takes to get it done. Conversation now going on the mound. As the train has come to a complete stop now, and this game has as well. Bly now, after this conversation, will reset things. Has 2 down in the inning.
At the plate for Monticello.
Cody Painter, the pitching coach for Oklahoma Baptist, joined the staff in 2017.
And here we go. Shepard 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out looking back in the third. Swings at that one. His average is 190 on the year, hitting 176 with 2 outs, and has zeros across the board when the bases are loaded. Has not yet gotten a hit this season with the bases loaded, and it's a situation in which he finds himself in the conference tournament right now. His team trailing by 9. That one on the turf and chased down very, very quickly by Enriquez. We have seen a game end on a wild pitch. As a matter of fact, Monticello, the beneficiary of that last night, a 9-8 victory over Southwestern on a walk-off wild pitch.
Tough way to see a season come to an end as well for Southwestern.
Exactly. You know, the positive for that, though, Michael, is the season came to an end in Enid. You know, you've made it there. 1-1 the count now with 2 down, bases loaded. And Shepard, a hard cut at that one, will foul it back. 2 strikes.
You've heard the expression, it's hard to stop a train? How come this one always stops out here? It's moving again, slowly.
It is a valid point. 1-2 the count now. And Shepard, the center fielder, looking to put his team on the board for the first time today. And he and Bly both step back a moment, and they'll reset.
Chess match.
1-2 the count now. Swing, hard hit, straightaway center field. It will drop. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Monticello is on the board for the first time. And for the first time this year, Greg Shepard gets a hit with the bases loaded. 2 RBI single for Shepard. And the sophomore gets his team away from that goose egg.
See this again, Pledger in center field. Thought about it, thought about making the dive, and realized no, because there's nobody behind me. Would have led to probably 3 runs. Instead, played it off of a hop. 2 runs in. Big momentum for UAM. Bottom of the lineup, turns it back over and gives the heavy hitters another chance here.
Well, the bottom of the lineup is the part of the lineup that's done the damage so far in this one. The heavy hitters, not so much. Cade Thompson 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Struck out back in the 4th inning and misses swinging here on this first pitch. 0-1 the count now.
Some long at bats from Borman, Threet, Shepard. I think that was the difference there. Just taking their time, waiting for a pitch to hit. Don't have to go after the first one every time.
Well, Oklahoma Baptist had a 2-out rally. Monticello has answered here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And this one's not over as the pitch gets away from Enriquez. And the runners will advance, and now 2 runners in scoring position for Thompson.
Base hit here, you get 2 more back. You knew the Weevils weren't going to go down easily. It wasn't going to be a quiet exit to this game by any means. In the top 3, 4, 5 in about every offensive category in the league.
Loser of this game will play tomorrow in the early game, I believe.
Yep.
Still getting this shift in the schedule going through my head, as last night's game 6 turned into last night's and today's game 6 because of a weather delay. So we are now in just game 7 of the GAC baseball tournament. There's a 2-1 over to Bloomfield. The throw to first is in time. The inning is done, but not without a little bit of damage. And for the first time today, a little bit of damage that we can talk about on the part of the Monticello Weevils. 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 left on base. 5 complete here from Enid. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
I'm standing with Patrick McNeil. That's Irish, like you said.
Very Irish, very.
But you are the athletic director of Monticello first season, and you're finishing up at Monticello right now in your first season. What have you learned about the GSC thus far?
Extremely competitive across the board. You know, I think when you look at where everybody's located in Oklahoma and Arkansas, the travel, sometimes you never know what you're going to get in different regions, but that's probably the #1 thing, is just great student athletes across all of the different colleges and universities. But quite frankly, just the competitiveness level has been big, more than I thought it would be. But I'm really excited about that, because I think that's what it really allows us at UAM to be able to compete at the highest levels.
And what is your vision for the athletic department in the coming years?
You know what, we always talk about winners win. We want to win at everything that we do, whether it's in the classroom, our processes, what we're doing in the community, and then ultimately what are we doing out in the fields of competition. So we're going to try to win at everything we do on a daily basis. That's really our ultimate goal, and I feel if we try to win at everything we do, the wins will come.
Well, thank you so much, Patrick, and good luck out here.
Thank you, appreciate it. Have a good one.
Back to you guys.
Appreciate you, Haley, getting to visit with the dignitaries here of the GAC at the baseball postseason tournament. Oklahoma Baptist now starting the top of the 6th inning with Enriquez, Carlson, and Bartolome. And Enriquez 0-2 now after that hard swing. Fouled to the left field side. Well, Monticello now on the board. Still a long ways to go for the Boll Weevils to really get back in this one. They're going to have to get some stops here. Put some zeros beside Oklahoma Baptist from inning to inning. And the Bison Bats really have gotten things going in the middle of this game. That one inside. Enriquez looking now at a 2-2 count. Struck out. Takes a seat now, does Enriquez. And a tough outing for him so far. The only one of only 2 Bison without a hit yet in this one. And another K beside his name. For Monticello, it was a new pitcher on the mound that got it done. And Michael, tell us who that is.
That's Justin Hutton, a 6.75 ERA. No wins, no losses in just 3 appearances this season. Has pitched only 4 innings all season long. And the rest of the numbers, 5 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .294 against him. Again, for Arkansas-Monticello, Justin Hutton takes over on the mound, and he is a junior from Byram, Mississippi.
Hutton puts that one against the backstop. 3 balls now, as he was able to take care of Enriquez. Second time today that Ramon Enriquez has struck out looking. Carlson now looking at the hitter's count. Takes that one for a strike. 87 miles an hour then, as showing just a little bit of speed here. That one hits soundly. Straightaway center. Shepard able to make the grab. 2 down now for Oklahoma Baptist here in the top of the 6th, as that brings up Kaimana Bartolome.
For the Bison, third baseman number 14, Kaimana Bartolome.
I think you take a few pitches here maybe just to slow things down a bit. I don't know if you're Oklahoma Baptist, if you want a very quick 1-2-3 inning like this after what just happened.
Well, Bly had looked really good through 4. Of course, the no-hitter broken up. Looked pretty solid. Gave up a couple of hits and 3. Couple of runs, okay. That's fine. See what he does, though, in his next go-round. That one to center field as well, and Shepard makes the grab there as they're, well, 1, 2, 3. The OBU Bison are retired here in the top of the 6th. And we are going to keep it right here as Monticello is going to get ready here in the bottom of the 6th inning, as we're going to send up Malden, Johnson, and Warden. And Michael, those are, you know, usually, as you said it earlier, your heavier hitters, the bats that get things done. Each one of those 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Winner of this game will move on into tomorrow's mid-afternoon game. That would be game 10. And the loser of this game will play the early game tomorrow, game 9.
Yeah, Bly's going to have to go up here one more time, at least against those big hitters that we were talking about. 64 pitches so far for Bly, 45 of them strikes, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's faced 19 batters. You're kind of in a spot here, Joey, where it's 7-run lead. You let him keep going, and, you know, pitch count's pretty good. Let him get 7-8 innings in, maybe a complete game, who knows? Or do you go to the bullpen at some point if it gets a little bit closer? I think this is probably Bly's one and only start here in the tournament, so you let him go as long as he possibly can and save those other guys for as long as you can, because, as you said, this is just game 7. I mean, we've still got a little bit later on, Arkansas Tech and Harding, and then game 9 will be tomorrow. But if you do win this game, you sit there and you jump to game 10 and you wait for the other teams to come through the losers bracket. So you're in pretty good shape if you get through this game with a win.
I think the big thing here, Michael, is you watch his pitch count at this point in time, because a 7-run lead does still seem pretty good. He's had 1 rough inning, and even of those 64 pitches that you mentioned, a full third of them or more came just in the 5th inning alone.
Yeah,
I mean, you took care of business through the first 4 innings and kept that pitch count low. So I would think that would be the number that you watch here.
And the thing, if you're Oklahoma Baptist, you just don't want Monticello to get another run, and make it a game where the potential tying run could come up to the plate late in the game, and then you put your bullpen out there. So it's a big inning for Bly, I think. Of course, his team didn't waste much time to get him back out there either. So
John Malden, the left fielder for Monticello, batting now. You know, talk about watching that pitch count and how important that could be. Obviously, that really, is predicated on how those pitches are thrown, how it's all going to go down for him. If the pitches are solid, that would be the number you watch. If you're giving up hits, as Bly did right there, and that's going to stay as a double. John Malden gets on base with that double, and for Malden, that is his 14th two-bagger of the season. Bringing up Jordan Johnson. That is what the pitch count then would be predicated on. How are these pitches going to look?
Big hit to start the inning, too. Bly's longest outing this year, Joey, 4 innings at Northeastern. That was on April the 16th.
Now looking back at this series, too, look again earlier this year when these two teams met, 10-8 in that finale. But the first 2 games, I mean, the losing team put just 2 runs on the board. Of course, that's Oklahoma Baptist in all 3 of them. The Bison have 9 runs now. It's still quite a number, not insurmountable, but a challenge. And strike 2 looking there for Johnson. Johnson struck out looking back in the 4th inning, excuse me, and had a fly out to right field in the 1st. And the 0-2, grounder to second, and McKee makes the throw to Carlson. Out number 1 here in the inning. Does advance the runner, though. Malden goes to 3rd.
Now batting for UAM, first baseman number 8.
And as with any situation when there is a large deficit, you chip away at it one at a time. And the Weevils in a position to do that now. Got 2 runs in the 5th. In a position to pick up one right here with 1 down. It is Caleb Warden, Struck out looking back in the 5th. Hitting .324 on the year, 0 for 2 on the day. And that in the turf, it will bring a runner in. And Monticello picks up a run here the easy way in the bottom of the 6th inning after a double. Fielder's choice, and then a wild pitch. And that is what is going to bring in Malden.
Slight bit of hesitation from Malden. Then once the ball really got away, it was pretty easy for him to come on home. Just 4 hits, though, for Monticello. Weevils fans got to be a little bit concerning for them. They need to string a few hits together if they're really going to get back in it.
Warden takes that one outside, 2-0 down the count.
I agree with you, Joey. Yeah, it's about the pitch count, and you watch that for Bly, but now that I kind of go back and look through some of his numbers, I mean, this is a long outing for him.
He's near the top of what he's normally been in.
Yeah. 1 4-inning outing and 3 3-inning outings. So.
Well, this may be the last inning. If you're Bly, you look at it and go, okay, well, I want my inning to end on me getting the player out. But I don't see much activity, though, in that, or any activity, excuse me, in that Bison bullpen. Hitters count here as Warden watches the strike come across, now 3-1.
The move here to go to Bly, it still leaves some pretty good arms for Oklahoma Baptist. We'd have to go back and look at their box score against SAU. I believe that was Merkel that pitched that one. We saw Hudson Pearson for a little bit. He's still got some guys that have made some starts this year that could come in tomorrow.
Solidly hit to right field, and Warden will reach with a single. And I believe think we're about to see some activity in the Bison bullpen now.
Now batting for Monticello, right fielder number 19.
David Reyna now coming to bat. Right fielder for Monticello. Got the first hit of the afternoon for the Weevils. It was a single back in the 5th inning. He got things going, finally got that 0 off the board in the hits column. And Bly offers that one up there. Reyna fouls that one to left field.
Yeah, so it was Merkel who got that win over Harding, and of course Lepetsky started last night, came out of the game after just a couple of innings, and they're going to be in pretty good shape with those two of their main starters there. They've also got Jesus Chavez, who has started 7 games this year.
Reyna deep to left field to the warning track, and the catch is made there by Brock Carter. Reyna's average, by the way, has crept up to .413.
Catcher number 20, Andrew Perriotto.
We'll take a seat now, though. 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. And it brings up Perrano, Andrew Perrano. And if you look at just the numbers alone, the big numbers from this UAM lineup, he's batting number 6, hitting .362. He and all the batters ahead of him batting well more than .350, and swinging on the first pitch to left field. Brock Carter's been active, and he helps the Bison end this bottom half of the 6th inning. But 1 run was scored on 2 hits for Monticello, and the Boll Weevils not going away just yet. Back with the 7th inning of GAC Sports Network. Oklahoma Baptist really opened things up in the 4th and 5th innings, but Monticello has proven that they are not going away lightly. 9-3 is our score as we go into the 7th inning, and we throw it to Michael Westbrook.
All right, thank you so much, Joey. 9 runs on 13 hits, no errors, 6 left on base for Oklahoma Baptist. Monticello 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error, and 3 left on. And we have Brock Carter starting things off for Oklahoma Baptist. And he is going against Justin Hutton, who entered the game last inning, the right-hander out of Mabry, or out of Mississippi, out of Byram, Mississippi. 1-1 to Carter with Bloomfield and Pledger waiting in this inning. Now a ball and a strike. 4th time at the plate for Carter. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd, reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. That one misses low for a ball, 1-2. And he struck out looking in the 5th. So still trying to get that first hit of the contest. In a day where most of the Oklahoma Baptist players have come through with a hit. Still just Enriquez and Carter who have not. 2-2 now the count. Scored a run in the 2nd. The big inning was the 4th. They scored 5 runs in that inning. Added 3 more in the 5th. 2-2 delivery. And now the count goes full at 3-2. Monticello has scored their runs late. Caleb Bly carried a no-hitter into the 5th, but 2 runs in the 5th and 1 in the 6th for UAM. Payoff pitch to the leadoff hitter here in the 7th. Hard hit ground ball. 3rd baseman has it. Johnson over to first, just in time. Across the diamond to Warden over at first base, and it's 1 up and 1 down.
Well, that was a nice throw, too. Got there solidly able to plant and make a sure throw.
This now brings up Brett Bloomfield. Bloomfield takes the first one. He's had a great day. Bloomfield out of the 8th spot in the lineup, the shortstop for the Bison. RBI single in the 2nd. And he'll hit this one on the right side, picked up by the first baseman, Warden. He's going to take it to the bag himself, almost stumbled there.
Twice.
Yeah. For a moment, I wasn't sure he touched the bag, but he did.
Now that was quite an effort too. Solidly hit ball, came through, got it, and was able to hold his feet. And you know what? That's not easy to do all the time. And we talked about this yesterday, showed the difference in the turf. The turf in the infield has been around a little bit longer than the turf in the outfield here, but they're two separate depths. And the turf in the infield is a little more shallow, and it can be a little slick. So that's a big credit to Warden for hanging on there.
So now Joey Pledger. Grounded into a double play in the second, but as we said at the time of the fourth, he erased any memory of that with a 3-run home run to left field in the fourth inning. He walked in the fifth inning. 1-1, takes for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Well, he was shaking that pitch off from the word go, and the umpire did not agree.
See what happens here at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fouls it away. Lund started the game for Monticello, went 3 1/3, gave up 5 earned runs. Chacon came in after that, went an inning and 2/3. He gave up 4 total runs, 3 of them earned. And now Hutton has been in the game for an inning and 2/3. 1-2 ground ball. Shortstop will pick it up. And from Borman over to Warden, it's a put out across the diamond there, 6-3, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Oklahoma Baptist. A rarity in this one. We've hit the 7th inning stretch. Monticello trailing by 6, coming to bat in a moment on the GAC Sports Network. Nine to 3 into the bottom of the 7th inning. The Weevils trail by 6. Back to bat, a little momentum last couple of innings for Monticello.
Leading off for UAM, shortstop number 35, Dylan Borman.
Dylan Borman will be up first, then Threet and Shepard. 7, 8, 9 in the batting order. Borman 1 for 2 today. Caleb Bly back out to the mound. Entering his 7th inning of work, he's given up 5 hits, 3 earned runs. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and has thrown 76 pitches now. First pitch swinging to left field, and going back on it is Carter, still going back at the track. He makes the catch. Good solid hit there from the Weevils. Borman, but it was caught, 1 up and 1 down.
At the plate for the Weevils, designated hitter number 10, Brody Threet.
Brings up Brody Threet. And Threet's over 1 so far. He recorded an out in the 3rd inning. He did walk in the 5th.
Now, we talked about what he's done already in this series, and 2 for 11, but both of those being home runs the last time that he faced Oklahoma Baptist. Been pretty solid for the Weevils so far in this one.
Oh, 1-3. Ground ball, foul. Well, activity continues in the Oklahoma Baptist bullpen, and we kind of talked about the pitch count starting to get up a little bit for Bly. But still with a 6-run lead. They'll keep him out there as long as he's limiting the base runners. Now it's 0-2 and Bly delivers up high. Ball and 2 strikes. Talk about this Arkansas-Monticello team, regional appearance in 2014. Of course, winning the conference tournament in 16 and 17. Regional appearances then as well. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Threet goes down. And that's the second out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
One more game to follow this one.
For UAM, center fielder number 5, Grant Shepard.
As Harding looking to play at 3:30 today. Well, with all of the shifts in the schedule and the weather delay and all that, they'll be playing the later game, which will start 45 minutes after the close of this one.
First pitch swinging here for Grant Shepard, fouls it out of play, 0-1. As we said earlier, and that may have been in another game actually, Joey, but yeah, we know we will have 2 games tomorrow on a Tuesday, when normally that's the spot where we're sitting here going, okay, if a certain team wins, they're the champions. We don't have the if necessary game, but with that being pushed back, we know for sure 2 games tomorrow. Hard hit ball left center field. This one should get down for a base hit, and it will. It is going to be at least a double, and that is where Grant Shepard will stop. A 2-out double for Grant Shepard out of the 9 spot in the lineup for Monticello to keep the inning going.
Shepard came in yesterday for Nathaniel English and took over that center field spot. This afternoon, he was 0 for 1 yesterday. This afternoon, he's really stepped up, hit the ball well. 2 for 3 now on the day. And this could be another one of those 2-out rallies for the Weevils. We saw this back in the 5th inning.
Cade Thompson at the plate, trying to find his first base hit today. Ground out in the 1st and struck out in the 4th. He'll take off the plate just a bit, 1-0. He also had an at-bat in the 5th. He grounded out then. So 0 for 3 so far. Shepard has 2 of the team's 6 hits out of that 9 spot. Thompson can reach. Molden is waiting on deck. 2 big-time averages right here. Thompson entered the day 382. It's dropped to 374 now.
That's a pretty rough day when your average drops to 374.
Right.
Albeit it's not been his day yet today. Could be one of those things. With a batter like that, though, and that solid batting average, all you can say if you're 0 for 3 on the day is you're due.
Weevils went 0 for 2 last year in the tournament. Already 2-0 here in this tournament, but trying to get to 3-0 is going to be a pretty big uphill climb here the rest of the way. 2-0 delivery. Another one misses outside, and the count will go to 3-0. Caleb Bly into the 80s now with his pitch count. 83. 7 strikeouts, only the 1 walk.
I agree with you from the earlier point. I think it is getting to be a little high now for Bly. And there is some activity in the Bison bullpen. Not a lot right now. 2 down here, though, in the inning.
3-0, that misses ball 4. And Coach Cox out of the dugout. He is making the call for a change. And so we will have a new pitcher for Oklahoma Baptist coming up here in just a moment. With a couple of runners on now, 9-3 our score in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Great day for Caleb Bly. We'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. Back after this on the GAC Sports Network. Bottom of the 7th inning, 9-3 our score. 2 base runners on. Joey, we have a new pitcher.
We do, but not to us today. We have seen him already once today. It is Andrew Eppenbach. He's making his 23rd appearance of the year, as that is swung on a miss for a strike. 23rd appearance of the year. His record is 3-0, 5.11 ERA. He has pitched a little more than 50 innings now, given up 47 hits, 34 runs, and 28 of them have been earned. And opponent's batting average is 164.
Borman. I'll get this right. John Molden at the plate for UAM. Apologies there. 2 runners on for UAM, 2 outs. And again, just quite the performance for Caleb Bly. We'll see what happens here with these runners that he's responsible for, but pitched a good game today. Molden hitting .350. Hard hit ball, gobbled up by the third baseman, goes the short route. It's Bartolome over to McKee to end the inning. Effenbach comes in, gets the job done. We'll stay right here after the 7th inning. 9-3 our score as Oklahoma Baptist limits the threat there and ultimately puts it to a complete end, and nothing happening for UAM in that inning. And so after 7 here, Oklahoma Baptist 9, Arkansas-Monticello 3. And we can give you the final numbers on Bly now. 6 2/3. 6 hits, 3 runs, they were all earned. He walked 2, struck out 7, did have 2 wild pitches, and faced 28 batters through 87 pitches. 61 of those were strikes. So a guy that had not gone more than 4 innings, Joey, in a game this year, goes 6 2/3 and throws basically 75% strikes. You'll take that.
Oh, yeah, any day. You'll take that. He does give up, of course, the 3 runs, but through those 6 2/3, that's pretty solid against such an offensively powerful team as we know that Monticello is, and what they've shown to be against Oklahoma Baptist specifically this year. And let's talk about then the pitching on the other side for the Weevils right now, what Justin Hutton has done since he has come into the contest. He's pitched 2 full innings, and both of those innings have resulted in zeros on the scoreboard for Oklahoma Baptist. Really slowed things down for the Bison. Got the 9 runs on the board through the first 5 innings, and since Hutton has arrived, they have been shut out. As a matter of fact, he's not given up a hit either as well through 2 innings, pitched 26 times, so we'll see how he fares here in the top of the 8th.
It's the top of the lineup for Hutton to face off against. McKee, Harris, and Gozo. And these 3 have combined at this point in the contest for 7 hits in 12 at-bats. And McKee has had 2 big ones. Solo home run in the 4th and an RBI double in the 5th inning. He's 2 for 4 after a pair of flyouts early on in the game. One of those coming in the 1st inning and the other one in the 3rd inning. Got activity again in the Arkansas-Monticello bullpen as well. Scott Gillespie is warming up. There you see it, number 18, sophomore right-hander. 2-0 count to McKee.
Now, you were talking about the time on the mound for what Caleb Bly has done. This is just the 4th appearance this season for Hutton. 1 appearance with 2 innings pitched, 2 appearances with 1 inning pitched. We're in uncharted territory right now.
Yep. The decision by Coach Harvey to go with Hutton, saving his guys that maybe have had a few more innings this year, knowing that at this point,
it's been the right decision. I don't think there's any question about that. 2 full innings, and he hasn't allowed a hit, so it's been a good 2 innings. Let's see how long he stays in there.
At this point, if you're going to get back to the championship, if you
not
lose
much
this
longer.
Game, what's that?
I don't know if it's going to stay much longer.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
Sorry, go ahead. If you're going to get back to the championship.
Gave me time to do some quick math here on the GAC. You have to play potentially 3 more games, right? If you're going to win it. So you got to make sure you've got arms in the bullpen. Doesn't seem like he's going to take him out just yet.
Well, they're going to break up this conversation, gives him a chance to talk just for a little bit. But yes, this is new territory now for Hutton, at least for this season.
Oh, he is going to make the change. He's made the call, so 9-3 our score. Didn't get much going there in the 8th before break. A new pitcher coming in for the Weevils. We'll tell you about him here in just a moment. Stay with us on the GAC Sports Network. Beautiful day here at David Allen Memorial Ballpark. We started the day with a little bit of rain, in fact, at our during our noon game, but that has been burned off. The sun is out, 77 degrees, and who knows what tonight will hold. Does still show about a 40% chance of thunderstorms. We'll see. We're looking at about a high of 80 degrees today, and the wind out of the south close to 15 miles per hour. New pitcher on the mound now for the Monticello Weevils, and a 9-3 contest here in the 8th inning.
That pitcher is Scott Gillespie. He's a sophomore for the Weevils, ERA of 9.75. The 2-1 record this season. This will be his 13th appearance. In his 12 previous appearances, he has pitched 12 innings even. Given up 16 hits, given up 14 runs, 13 of them earned, struck out 10, walked 11 for an opponent's batting average of .327. He also has 2 saves to his credit. That is Scott Gillespie.
And it's P.J. Harris at the plate for the 5th time in this game. 3 singles. RBI single in the 5th. Also had a single in the 4th and 3rd inning. Flew out to center field back in the 1st. Harris entered the day with a .370 batting average, and that's up to .379 now. On-base percentage of .518 and a slugging percentage of .639.
That'll work. That's useful.
Yes. Key over at first. Harris will take outside. 2-0 the count. Saw Arkansas Tech arrive a little bit earlier. They're out in right field getting warmed up. Where's that Harding? Now that I think about it.
Looks like the Harding players are warming up beyond right field.
Yep. Tech was out there earlier. They changed places, I think.
Talked about Gillespie having pitched 12 innings through 12 appearances, and it pretty much just is as you might imagine. 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning. This may be the only inning in which we see him.
This is outside with that one. The count is now 3-1.
Picked up wins in games against Ouachita Baptist, in which he pitched 1 inning each.
I wondered about that. You know, if Monticello can get some runs back in the bottom of the 8th, then maybe you bring somebody else out there. If they don't get any runs back, you might let him go 2 innings. There's a 3-1 now. That misses outside ball 4. Throwing some heat, but it's not quite finding the strike zone. So Harris walks. He's going to bring Jake Gozo to the plate with 2 runners on base and nobody out here in the 8th inning.
Well, we've talked about the firepower for both these teams, and we've mentioned Gozo often enough, but with good reason.
.327 average for the season. Hit a home run in the game earlier today, and he's 2 for 4 in this one, a pair of singles. 1-0 from Gozo to center field. Going back on it is Shepard. He's at the track, and he's there to make the catch. Both of the runners are going to tag. Throw to second. Safe at second base is P.J. Harris.
Just got under that tag. We look at it again here. Good throw.
390 to straightaway center, folks. That's MLB range right there, so pretty close to what you might find at a major league park.
Right.
That one went a long ways.
That was a nice throw by Shepard just to get it back in and make that into a play at all.
Ramon Enriquez still looking for this first hit. Won't get it on that one. Second and third, the runners now, 1 out. Well, UAM holds this year's tournament record right now for most runs in a game at 9. Oklahoma Baptist has tied them with 9 runs here. They're trying to get into double digits.
Enrique's looking at 0-2 count.
He struck out twice in this game.
And both times looking.
Yep. Did reach on a fielder's choice back in the fourth and walked in the second. 0-2 delivery, hard hit ground ball. Shortstop Borman has one play over to first for the out. RBI there that scores McKee, and it does give Oklahoma Baptist a 10-3 lead on the RBI ground out from Ramon Enriquez. The other base runner, E.J. Harris, also advances now down at third base.
Well, you look at the stats, and if you're Enriquez, you may look and say, hey, this wasn't quite my day. Didn't have the day that everyone else did, but he does have the RBI there now. He's done what has been asked of him.
It'll bring Eric Carlson to the plate. That one fouled back up against the net. And Scott Gillespie now pitching here in this 8th inning. So for Hutton, 2 innings. He does give up the 1 run. It was earned, a walk and a strikeout. He was responsible for that runner that just scored a moment ago.
Yes, I'm curious about this as well. How long is Hutton going to be in here? Has the 2 outs now.
Nobody warming up. Ground ball on the right side, and it's picked up by the second baseman Thompson. Over to Warden for the out to end the inning. 1 run on no hits, or excuse me, 1 run there for Oklahoma Baptist. Take a 10-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here on the GAC Sports Network. Bottom of the 8th inning, Oklahoma Baptist leads Arkansas-Monticello by the score of 10-3. And we have a new first baseman to tell you about. Number 26, Caden Betch, takes over at first base, the senior from Valencia, California. This is still Eppenbach on the mound. Just a third of an inning. He came in and got the 1 out last inning to end the UAM threat. That one swung on and missed from Jordan Johnson. Johnson 0 for 3 today.
Betch comes in for Carlson, by the way. Eric Carlson, 2 for 5 on the afternoon, has an RBI, has a double in all of that as well.
1-1 to Johnson, and now 2-1 the count. Fly out for Johnson in the first, then a strikeout looking in the fourth, and a ground out in the 6th. After the sophomore bats, it'll be Caleb Warden and then David Reyna. 2-1, back through the middle. That's a base hit to start the bottom of the 8th inning for Jordan Johnson, his first of the game. Turns an 0 for 3 into a 1 for 4 today at this point.
All right, an absolutely huge gap there, and Johnson takes advantage of it. He left that room there. Good placement there. And Johnson, again, part of that strong top 6 in the lineup. His batting average now up to .310. Shown his arm today at third base as well.
So now Caleb Warden. Monticello's had some base runners over the last several innings. That little miss for a ball, 1-0.
And you know, Monticello really hasn't, haven't left a lot on base. It's just been a while getting those runners to base. You know, the first 4 innings is the Weevils went hitless. Now putting the runners on base. Not able to get all of them around yet, but the 3 runs on the board. And this is where you look at it too, though, Michael. I mean, you know, over the course of a contest, OBU gets up 9 runs midway through the 5th inning. You know you have to make them up. And the Weevils pitching has done a solid job in keeping OBU at bay, giving up just 1 more run in the last 3 innings. But you have to make them up, and the problem now is you have to make them up in bigger chunks.
Absolutely. Hard hit ground ball picked up by the second baseman is going to go to the shortstop covering to get the lead runner. That is McKee to Bloomfield to take care of Jordan Johnson. So the two players will switch places. Warden reaches on the fielder's choice. Now we have one out and one on. That sends David Reyna to the plate. Junior entered this game with a .411 batting average. 409 right now. 1 for 3 day.
I had it up to 413 at one point.
Want to know the count to Reyna? And that one will miss low. 2-0 now the count.
Who's the good Bison? Literal with Caleb.
Loser of this contest drops down to game 9 of the tournament, which will be our first game tomorrow. That'll be an elimination game. Down the right field line, looks like it's going to go foul, and it does. Over near the batting cages. It's David Allen Memorial Ballpark. You know, right below us, Joey, it's got a baseball museum that you can go through. Haven't ever checked that out. It's worth it.
You go once a year, don't you?
I try to, yeah. My memory's that bad. I have to go in and see what I looked at the year before. There's a lot of cool things in there, though.
Well, the entirety of the park is really fun to just be a part of. But yeah, to see those things in the museum.
The tributes to the American Legion teams out of Enid that have done well, and of course to NOC teams, Northern Oklahoma College. And the 2-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's the second out in the inning.
At the plate for UAM, catcher number 20, Andrew Perriano.
Andrew Perriano now at the plate. See what Perriano does here with 2 outs. Sometimes these guys, you know, big deficit, they just go up there, swing away. And he will do just that. Watch out, hits the umpire. He is down. First of all, it almost took out the pitcher. He got out of the way, and the umpire paid for it.
Yeah, didn't have the chance to do that. Hit him low. And so he's likely, as you see, in a lot of pain there. It will be a single. The runners will obviously stay there. The play is dead. And he is getting to his feet. Obviously, and you saw there. So that's going to be a tough place to take a hit. He'll walk it off.
Aaron Tyson, our second base umpire. It's a round of applause from the fans. My goodness. Yeah, in some ways, you say it could have been much more dangerous there. Looked like the pitcher was about to get hit. Now, there's a smile, at least. So, and a big deep breath.
Yeah, big deep breath. That's exactly what I was going to say. You have to breathe now, and walk it off. And he'll feel it later tonight, too.
Yep. Wow. All right, he is okay, though. That's good news. Whew.
Now, you were talking about the batters getting up there and just swinging, and that's exactly what we saw. Get up there and swing, make something happen. And Perriano had done just that, so it's Borman's turn.
Warden at second, Perriano at first, 2 outs.
And now suddenly you have a string of Monticello batters that have been able to connect. Borman got the hit back in the 5th inning. A fly out to left field in each the 3rd of the and the 7th. But now he has runners on base.
Borman 1 for 3 so far. 2 flyouts to left field. Those occurring in the 3rd and 7th innings, and then he had a single in the 5th.
Hitting .266 for the season, but batting .300 with runners on base.
Take a strike, and it's 1-1. Coming up on 3 hours of this contest. Started at 2:50. Caleb Bly pitched to Jim through 4 innings and ended up going 6 2/3. Replaced by Eppenbach, who's now gone a full inning, giving up 2 hits, struck out 1 batter. 3 runs on 8 hits for UAM in this one. 1-2 with 2 outs and 2 on. Pitch upcoming to Dylan Borman in a moment. Told you about Harding warming up out in past the right field fence, and Arkansas Tech sitting back above the Monticello dugout, just kind of watching at this point. 1-2, hard hit ball foul. Watch out, Coach Harvey has to jump over that one. Everybody's in jeopardy right now out there. There's Harding.
It's back over that right field wall. Good view of the game.
6th seed still here. Our good friend Billy Morgan called softball games over in Bentonville, then came over here yesterday, got a win, and he's back over here ready to call another one tonight or this afternoon. One-two delivery. Ground ball on the infield, and Bloomfield will go the short route to end the inning. No runs on 2 hits, a couple of batters left on, and we have played 8. Oklahoma Baptist with a commanding 10-3 lead as we go to the 9th here on the GAC Sports Network. 10-3 in the top of the 9th inning, and Scott Gillespie on the mound for Arkansas-Monticello. Made it to the 9th inning here in a big lead for Oklahoma Baptist. Bartolome will be up first, and he's followed by Carter and Bloomfield. Oklahoma Baptist 3 outs away now here, Joey, from just taking over, being in the driver's seat going into the final stretch of this 2019 tournament. I think I said that last year.
Yes. And last year it looked the same, maybe a few more runs being scored.
Again, the winner goes into game 10 of the tournament. And coming up next, we have game 8, which is Arkansas Tech and Harding. The winner of that takes on the loser of this one in game 9. That'll be tomorrow as well.
Well, Gillespie on the mound for the Weevils from Alberta. One of 2 players from Alberta on this Weevils team. There's a connection to Canada. Find their way down to Monticello.
Remember Corey Wood from a couple of years ago, the big hitter.
That's exactly who I was going to reference next. Boy.
That's a guy that should have made a major league roster somewhere. High fly ball to left. It is carrying, and it is gone. Home run. Bartolome, a leadoff home run in the 9th to tack on another run for the Oklahoma Baptist Bison. That makes it 11-3.
We talked about batters coming up and just swinging and seeing what can happen. Bartolome does just that.
It's all smiles in that dugout right now. Has anybody hit one to right? At least not that we've seen.
No, and
ooh,
wow, that was
head.
A little high.
Yep. Well, and in Gillespie's defense, he had 2 of those during the warm-ups in between innings that just missed that badly. So I think he was aiming at anybody there by any means.
No, and you know what? We really, I mean, it's not that windy, and we have seen much windier days here at David Allen Memorial that, you know, nothing was going to go out and right, but players just simply aren't going that direction this year. They're taking advantage of the left side of the field, and even the left-handed batters look to go opposite there.
Yep.
That could just be part of now years of coming out here to Enid. You know the field a little bit better. I mean, that's part of the game plan coming in.
Exactly. 1-1 is up high, 2 balls and a strike.
You play the field too, and each field in the GAC is a little bit different. Some fields are a little more likely to keep balls within the park. Some are a little more likely to send them out, wind aided or not.
Yeah. That one swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Carter. Carter looking for his first hit. He was hit by a pitch in the second to reach base and also got on a fielder's choice in the fourth. 2-2, swung on and missed. He'll go down swinging for the first out in the top of the 9th inning as Gillespie retires Carter.
At the plate for ODU, shortstop number 20, Brett Bloomfield.
Big day for Bloomfield. He will step in now, an RBI single in the second inning. He was able to reach base in the 4th inning and also score after walking in that inning. Fouls this one back 0-1. A double in the 5th and then a ground out in the 7th.
I think it's very likely UAM will stay with Gillespie through.
I think so at this point. Yep, nobody warming up down there. 0-1, this is another high fly ball to left. It's going to carry again, and still going back at the track is Malden, but this time at the track, he makes the catch for the second out.
Well, you know, he reached for that last one, the one that went out, and get up there on that brick. That's not soft padded area up there.
No.
Have your arm pulled over the side of that can hurt a little bit.
Two down, base is empty. And Joey Pledger at the plate here. 3-run home run in the 4th inning. It's 11 runs on 14 hits for Oklahoma Baptist today. UAM will have 8, 9, and 1 due up in their batting order when they come back to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning. Takes the 2-0 for a strike, and it's now 2-1.
Well, and again, you mentioned this, teams playing to not only win the GAC tournament championship, but playing for a spot in the NCAA tournament. Automatic bid is the important thing.
Well, it really is, because with Southern Arkansas sitting there at 8 right now, knowing that teams 9 and 10 are still alive, it would seem if the GAC is going to get 2 teams in, it would have to be an automatic bid here. That is not UAM. Hard hit ball back through the middle there will be a base hit for Pledger, and so he continues to have a good day. He's been on base 3 times now with 2 hits. And the inning will continue for Garrett McKee.
How comfortable do you feel about UAM?
At the 5 spot.
Pretty comfortable.
Yep, for sure.
I do as well.
They had, give me the line here now, but they had quite a winning streak at one point during the year. And sitting there at 5, 4 losses better than the 6th seed, Missouri Southern, and the 7th seed for that matter. So.
And you think, too, that UAM has the most in-region wins as well. That's another category. It's not just the overall record, but it's the in-region wins. And Monticello with 31 of those to lead the way in the Central region. So Yes, I feel very comfortable too. I wanted to hear from you.
Well, and I think if we were to really dive into the Oklahoma Baptist schedule, we might find that that's the one big difference. Some of these games that maybe didn't count for in-region on their schedule. So,
well, in the regular season too, if you look at what the Bison have done, and again, how then that makes this that much more important to get that automatic bid against top teams in the GAC. Against Monticello, the Bison were swept.
Right.
Against Southern Arkansas, the Bison were swept.
Runner going, that doesn't matter. Swung on and missed for strike 3 to end the inning. And we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. 11-3 our score. One more chance here for the Weevils. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network. Bottom of the ninth inning. 11-3, a comfortable lead for Oklahoma Baptist here. Monticello will see what they can come up with here in the bottom of the ninth with 8, 9, and 1 in the lineup. Starting first with Brody Threet. Designated hitter, takes a strike. It is Eppenbach still pitching for Oklahoma Baptist. Just the second pitcher used here in this game for the Bison, and that is big. They hold on to win. They're sitting there waiting on game 10 of the tournament with most of their pitching staff in order and available. Now it's 0-2. After Threet will be Shepard and Thompson. Stay tuned in the post game. Haley will have an interview for us. And then we'll take about a 45-minute break after that. Bring you one more game here today on the Sports Network. In case you're interested, Arkansas Tech and Harding coming up later on. 0-2.
Oklahoma Baptist used 4 pitchers in that previous contest. Now, granted, 3 of them today, but 4 overall. So, yeah, you're right.
Eppenbach may be the only guy that can't go tomorrow because he pitched in that first game earlier today.
Pitched an inning in the third. Only pitcher to not give up a run.
Gone an inning and a third in this one at this point. 2-2 the count to Threet. That one fouled back. So if this holds, Monticello goes to game 9 of the tournament. They would take on the winner of Arkansas Tech and Harding tomorrow at noon. And they would still have a chance to come back through and to play Oklahoma Baptist again. 2-2 pitch. Slow little ground ball. Shortstop has a beat on it. Got it over to first in time for the out as Bloomfield stayed with that one the entire way over to Betch for the out.
Good fielding. Stayed in front of it. Kept his legs moving. Got the nice stop and square up for the throw.
Now Grant Shepard will stand in. We were looking back at the Oklahoma Baptist schedule in between innings. They went through a stretch not that long ago, into March through mid-April, where they lost 8 of 9 games. Of course, that was the Southern Arkansas series, the Monticello series, Southwestern, and also lost to Oklahoma Christian during that stretch. And since then, all W's, starting with the victory against Southwestern on April the 15th, into the regular season on a 9-game winning streak. Trying to make it 12 in a row. There's a base hit into right field with 1 out. Monticello has a runner on. Grant Shepard gets his 3rd base hit today. 2 singles and a double.
Actually, that's what I was going to say, Michael. Shepard had gone without a hit in the previous 4 games in which he had played. He's making up for it today. 3 hits today.
Back to the top of the lineup, Cade Thompson.
From Texarkana, Texas.
I've heard of that place.
Say, you know anything about that?
Yeah. I was just there a few days ago. Yep, that's where I call home.
You live on the Texas side or the Arkansas side?
Live on the Texas side. I work on the Arkansas side, and I'm worried about that daylight savings law that could go into effect here on the Texas side. We were discussing that earlier. That bounced halfway down the first base line. Easily down to second goes Shepard. Oklahoma and Texas trying to put that on the ballot for November. Is it going to make the ballot in
I don't know.
November?
I don't know for sure in Oklahoma, but
Heard in Texas that it is going to be on the November ballot to eliminate daylight savings time. So I'd have to get 2 clocks, I guess, if I'm going to cross back and forth on the state line there and go to work in one place and live in another place. Maybe that's my fault. 1-1. That's a strike on the corner, and now it's 1-2 here with 1 out runner in scoring position.
I'm not so sure. In some places, I've just heard of it being in Congress in Oklahoma. It's not.
Okay.
May not go on the ballot. May just be something that's adopted.
Interesting. I've tried to figure out what it would do to my schedule, but you know that's about like trying to figure out this tournament when 5 teams remain after 2 days.
Yes.
Just wait and see. 2-2 now the count. Thompson trying to keep it going. Eppenbach delivers. That'll go down the left field line out of play.
Now, just forget which states are which here. Let's just take a conference scenario in which, and I realize it probably is the case in some conferences, but right here in the Midwest, the Southwest, we're not used to that.
Right.
We're used to the central time zone, and to have a conference in which half of the teams would be in one time zone and half in another, that could be problematic.
Yeah, it's not like you could do the old, start time 7 o'clock Central, or I guess it'd be 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. You can't do it that way. You'd have to, how would you word that? 7 o'clock
standard
daylight?
Yeah.
No thanks.
No, that would not be cool.
Looked pretty good pitch there. Must have missed low, and now the count goes full at 3-2. Speaking of clocks, we are past 3 hours game time in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get past 3 hours, that's when you start talking about daylight savings time, I think.
Well, we'll talk about Cade Thompson, 4 for 13 in the series against Oklahoma Baptist.
Ground ball where McKee is at second, over to first for the out. Big turn at third, but Shepard will stay put. So now 2 outs.
In this one for Thompson, still yet with a hit or without a hit. He does advance the runner, though. Keeps this one going.
And it sends John Molden to the plate. Last opportunity perhaps for the Weevils. He has 1 hit in the contest. That was a 6th inning double. And he reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th. A couple of strikeouts before that. That gets away from the catcher, and a run is going to come in for Arkansas-Monticello. They score again as Grant Shepard scores easily on the wild pitch, and that makes it 11-4. That one was in the dirt or in the turf the whole way there from Eppenbach. So bases empty, 2 outs.
Well, Malden was definitely the Bison killer earlier in the year, and he's the last opportunity right now to keep this thing going.
1-0, make it 2-0.
For all these seniors on both these teams, win or lose, still playing again.
Right. Now the 2-0 pitch. And that one will miss up a bit high as well. 3-0. You don't really hear anything coming from either one of the dugouts here. Both sides kind of just seem content to get through this one with a 7-run lead for Oklahoma Baptist.
Yeah, even the crowd has died down some too.
That's going to be a 4-pitch walk.
Well, you get a few more things like this happening then for the Weevils, and that might get both sides energized. One side maybe a little anxious, the other side energized. But
As Shepard came across on a wild pitch, Malden goes to first now. Johnson. Each one of these from here on out will be the last best opportunity.
Right. Johnson 1 for 4 in the game. His lone hit was in the last inning, a single. That one gets past the catcher. Another one that's going to send a runner down. A little bit wild here in the ninth. Past Enriquez that time.
And there is actually activity in the Bison bullpen right now.
Yeah. Enriquez is going to walk out and have a little bit of a visit here with Eppenbach, and the shortstop will come in as well. Bloomfield just to settle down Eppenbach. It's a bit of an outing for him now. 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. He's walked 1, struck out 1. Oklahoma Baptist trying to make it to the championship day. When that will be, we're not certain yet, but that one fouled back up against the screen to make it 1-1 for the second consecutive year, I might add, after they were upended last year by the Mule Riders in 2 games on that final day. Put a note at the top of my notes. They had a little bit of unfinished business this year, it seemed like. 1-1, hard hit ball to center on a line. It's going to fall for a base hit, and rounding third is Molden. He will score easily. 2 runs here in the inning for Arkansas-Monticello. Makes it an 11-5 contest.
And each one the result, one direct, one indirect of a wild pitch. Wild pitch advances the runner there as Malden comes around, and Shepard scored from third on a wild pitch. So
Coach Bobby Cox in his 35th season at the helm has called for a change. Eppenbach will leave the game. We'll have a new pitcher. We'll take a quick break here and tell you about the new man on the mound for the Bison in just a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
New pitcher for Oklahoma Baptist is Jesus Chavez, making his 11th appearance of the season. And he has a 3-3 record, 6.92 ERA. He's pitched 39 innings, given up 61 hits, 34 runs, 30 of them were earned. He struck out 19 and walked just 7, and has an opponent's batting average of .355, which is actually the highest or second highest opponent's batting average of anyone on the Oklahoma Baptist Bison pitching staff.
A right-hander from Oxnard, California, takes over here in the bottom of the 9th inning in an 11-5 game. And now all of a sudden Monticello has hit double figures in hits, 25 combined hits in this game, 15 for Oklahoma Baptist and 10 for Monticello. We'll have Caleb Warden at the plate. A 2-out rally here for UAM.
Chavez 6'2", 235.
I'm not messing with him.
Nope.
Warden with 1 hit in the game. That was a single back in the 6th inning. Got a .326 average, slugging .606. The runner is Johnson over at first base, and that one is in for a strike. Off-speed delivery. Third pitcher used by Oklahoma Baptist in this contest, after Caleb Bly went 6 2/3. And now the 0-1 to left field, high fly ball. This one is back. Is it going to be fair? No, it is a foul ball. That one took off the bat of Warden in a hurry.
Certainly did. And Monticello, we talked about chipping away at the lead, and sometimes you're going to have to get them in some chunks. That would have been a chunk right there. A 2-run shot. It did clear the fence, but outside the foul pole.
Warden does have 13 home runs, which is tied for the most with Molden for UAM. Now the count is 0-2 and sent to center field. Pledger going back a couple of steps in front of the track. He's there. He makes the catch, and Oklahoma Baptist has defeated Arkansas-Monticello 11-5 They are now 3-0 in the tournament this year and will advance to the championship day. Oklahoma Baptist wins 11-5 over UAM.